see that Glyphs is being committed by the GSX. Are there going to be any immediate TP at the bottom? Yes, we see the Sun King is immediately TPing. Liberty as well. Nice blink. There's a sentry ready for him though, so he smartly walks away, waits for it. Ultimates committed. Both Centaur and Trion throwing up their ultimates. MX are committing his stuff. Oh, Grave immediately, and I'm going to save him for a bit. Nice stun from Uxob, but that's Void Spirit with the DD. Immediately going to die on the Viper once the Grave is down. Even Drow comes into the party, gets the kill on Uxob. Archer's trying to TP out. The Gust not cancelling the TP, but the damage is going to be just enough. Like right now, Archer should go more south and try to cut the next creep wave, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh,
but they're gonna go high.
Action. Ricardo jumps in, and again, just this annoying Astral steps into the resonating pulls, just putting so much pressure on you. He's just gonna commit the ultimate, but the ultimate is kind of awkwardly placed, so it's not gonna do much. Now he's gonna run out of it. Centaur commits his ultimate. Multiple Shivas going off like under.
Now you're jumping back.
They cannot go for him. Drow actually turns around, pops the BKB, has the Aegis. Don't forget about that. Very committed. Q, nice backline epicenter. Is it gonna be enough to kill Dazzle? No, he's gonna save himself with the Grave. The silence coming too slow, and now Lycander jumps in, immediately deletes Centaur. Viper dies as well. On the lane is definitely not giving them much of a kill advantage unless Slark messes up. Though we see he has a sense shift, so if they can control him or slow him down, he may die. Oh, Teki is getting found out. A lot of damage going on him. Will he get a suicide off? Yes, he will, and that's a lot of damage. It actually debated. MXR is getting the first blood as a result of that. Oh, 5-head play, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, Teki's showing its worthwhile pick. Now, Necros are popped, but is it Necro 3? No, it's not. Are they gonna walk into the mines?
For
Lion. Is it a double kill? Is he gonna pop it? Is he gonna pop it? No, why?
No.
What are you doing? Archer, come on, man.
No.
Oh, he's waiting for it. Come on, blast it, blast it, blast it. It's getting.
It's not to kill Lion, maybe Grim, but not Beast.
I mean, but he's still gonna get the money from the Necros and stuff. Man, come on, just blast it, blast it, blast it. And now Necro 3s are gonna get popped, and they're gonna see it with the next push, probably.
True.
So.
Yeah. Whoa!
They see that everybody's just running away, and while this is happening, I'm just soloed the troll, so not even use the ultimate.
Just ran at them. Ah, mines.
But that was just an amazing play, and now finally on the bottom, Slark will pay for it with his life. This time, Archer was dead, so he didn't have to care for anything else but his mind stack. So he finally blows the Slark up, and not only Slark, but he gets the kill on the OD, and now there's gonna be the offensive. Arta coming, spitting the long range Arctic burn auto attacks. Beastmaster is trying to TP out. Will he be unable to? Yes, he will. Now, Grimstroke, will he be able to survive? MXR is chasing. He has the SNY now, so he's quite a speedy boy. Root, cancels the TP. Nice kill, double kill, and that's 4 for 1.
You can see Heart being bought by Beastmaster. That's one way to think that mine.
I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I'm 36 minutes into this game, and I'm just losing my marbles. We have been watching like 10% of the map for last 20 minutes, with a team having pretty much 1k per minute, 1k gold per minute advantage, being unable to close the game because there's one very, very stupid hero.
I'm enjoying this.
Oh, you're
losing your marbles, but I'm gaining some marbles.
You are enjoying this. Somebody kick this man.
Like this is a really good game for them to learn from. They really need to understand the importance of towers because they're really slowing down their gameplay here. Let's see if they can catch anything. Gyro sticking close to the arena. Oh, they got it! On to 2 heroes catching the Gyro. Meepo tries to poof out, but he gets hexed and now shackled, and he's taken down with the anti-mage ulti.
Anti-mage here to contribute.
Very good. But once again, we're going to see a forced team fight. Mars with the spear onto the Venomancer. The arena catching 2. Venomancer with the Impale gonna go down. No, a Chen heal, keeping the Warlock and the Veno alive. Venomancer barely surviving. This is crazy. DP out over here, but Anti-Mage blinks to the back, and he gets that Venomancer now. The Gyro doing what he can, tanking it up, takes down the Death Prophet. I can't believe it. Mars goes down as well. Anti-Mage blinking in. Nice Impale by the Nyx Assassin, finishing off the Gyro.
His game is kind of awkward here. They're coming to defend their high ground. Definitely need to do this.
Oh,
it's a little scary against this Aegis.
See how it goes. Do we have a fortify? Okay, silence on everybody. Oh, a huge Mars ulti catching one Meepo. Panda is going down, but he does have an Aegis. Anti-Mage blinking in, but instantly evaporating. Does he have a buyback? No, he doesn't. Meepo super low. Aegis is proc. Death Prophet trying to survive, but the Gyro doing too much magic damage. Death Prophet is gonna go down. Gyro is a little low, but now the Dire have used all their resources, and the Rax looks like it's gonna go down.
And if you guys think about it, so it's like you commit a lot of time and spells to essentially you get, it looks like it's 3/4 of that bottom tower, but that doesn't change your net worth or map control. Whereas if you do that same commitment mid, well, in the meantime, Mars Arena catches everyone. I don't think they have the damage at this point. Maybe they do. A lot of the AoE spells all hit there. This time I think he did have a good mana void, and they actually clean up everyone there. Oh, that went a lot better than expected. In a lot of regards, the push mid is far better than that push bottom.
Oh, mid push coming in. Gyrocopter initiating onto the Nyx. Nyx goes down to the Black Cannon from the Aghanim Scepter. Mars with the counter initiation onto the Gyro, but it's not enough. Gyro's still full HP. He's chilling. Oh, a nice mana void by the Anti-Mage onto the Chen. Chen goes down, but Anti-Mage instantly evaporated to the Meepo Gyro combo, and then they take down 2 heroes after that. It's too much. Death Prophet can't even stand in front of this damage. And the Nyx buyback not going to do much. Yep, we got ourselves a game, boys. It is over.
Snapfire has her ult. Uh-oh, she's in the low ground. This is exactly when you want to wait to go, guys. If you don't have a ward, then you don't see them coming in. Clap. Gonna cookie away for a little bit. Soul Assumption. Do a nice burst of damage. Enchantress might get killed here in return, but actually the double stun from the Visage is going to buy enough time. Ogre. Soul Assumption? Enough damage. Picked up 2 kills. So here's your cheese potential.
Wait a second, they're moving towards it, Joranger, with the scatter shot, but out of range. Out of range.
They can get here in time. They should. They should contest this. This could be the dire throwing.
100%.
Especially if you can catch this Visage in the Mars Arena. A little messy.
Oh,
but we got it.
Beautiful arena. On to 3, Sapphire destroying them, demolishing them. Clark goes down, Visage goes down, Shadow Demon about to go down. Is this here? Is this the comeback?
It really could be, actually. This is exactly what they needed.
Techies!
Oh my god.
Turkeys.
He just got few spins and that's it.
Whoop. Oh, nice silence. That actually with the orb out, that should be enough. Nice. Very well. Smoke up.
They are going for Terrorblade.
Yeah. Ogre maybe a little bit in front. Smoke is broken. Terrorblade.
He knows,
Yeah.
but
Is stunned and will probably go down, right? Orbing him.
Actually-
He's in with a double damage wound. Gets huge up here. Puck blinking away. Trying to go for Terrorblade, but now Terrorblade activates his Metamorph. Ogre the first one to fall. Puck already dead as well, and now that's a huge turnaround. X trying to do what he can, but there's already 3 people there. Tries to get the even the ultimate, and that's 4 people dead for the Radiant.
I feel like,
Oh, up here, 2 people. Skewing them away actually into the mines, and that's Dazzle gone in with that. No grave for X, maybe 1 more hit. Oh, but now Pack.
Shockwave.
Will survive. Now Shockwave? Nope, not a range. And the spam from the Death Prophet misses as well. Whew, that was close.
Yeah, but it's important who jumps first.
Yeah, of
Because
course.
the team who jumps
We're
first.
back into the mines. X just. Yeah,
Wow.
that was an X.
Nice.
Just like weird placement.
Hello, darkness, my
Now maybe. Oh!
No. Wow. Okay.
Oh, that hurts. Yeah. X silenced again. Is up into 4 people, but he's tanky. He might be able to survive this.
Coming with
Troll's walking in.
Yeah, Troll now going in. And
His big
Death
V.
getting popped. Yeah, Troll popping his PKV in the backline. Nice. 3-man RP. Troll getting down work onto the Terrorblade.
Terrorblade.
Thundering up onto the Ogre, and now everybody's just dying. Nice grave here onto the Puck, but everybody going in again and should be able to drop them. 5-man wipe, but I mean, Terrorblade went down.
Oh, we see a smoke. They'll find a Weaver. Are they going to be able to like get a silence? Because right now, oh, Bender overconfident. He actually gets silenced now, drained, but there is no stun. And now Quante and Miki are coming from behind. Viper's going to get Yules. That's the Z's Yules. DP commits her ultimate. There's going to be the ultimate from the Viper committed on the Jackal. He's going to die, but all of this is happening. The rest of the team just died. This is... You're trading 5 heroes for position 5. I know it's like 5 for 5, you know, plus 5 for 5, but that's not how the math works. Yeah, and we see a TP immediately coming from Kisho, trying to help his core. Now, is it gonna be enough? Don't underestimate.
I'm gonna miss on middle.
The Zumi boy on the Bloodseeker is just gonna run away. 2 seconds stun, nice, but he's under the tower. You know, free kill. Great rotation, great movement from the side of Gene Farmers. Now he's gonna fight the Jack Hero, but Kisho is there as well. There's trying to be Echo and Finger. Gone, deleted on the Miki, but Swante is gonna get a revenge kill on Kisho, and now someone is in a little bit of trouble, but someone is gonna get found by the Clockwork. Doesn't get the Cox off, so he's gonna be able to walk away, and do something. Oh, nice Jekyll Edge, but they see the Shadow Fiend, maybe don't want to commit. Rocket into Bomb Shot, almost takes him out. Now Sven is ready. You know, his sneaks are... His palms are sweating, his weak arms are heavy, he's ready to throw in some spaghetti. Swante getting chased by the Shadow Fiend on the back of it, but he's gonna walk away, and Clockwork is gonna be the quote-unquote only cost that chicken farmers have to pay for overstaying their welcome. Oh, and now it's Fisher. Muxi actually getting a bit cut off, even Hex. Sven comes from the backline, but unfortunately runs into the ice spot. I'm not sure Muxi is the call you the go target you want to go on. Foreman Ravage on the backline. Sven just dies. Someone is trying to run away. Now Darker White is gonna sacrifice his life
A little
to make
messy,
sure that SFN
we
Lion
got
can
it.
get away. But can Lion get away? Because Swante is here, and even with the stun, oh nice hook shot finishes the line. And now with this, I think the Shadow Fiend should die as well. They cut him. They got the ice spot on him, but they decided not to go. Actually, they are playing very focused. They don't want to dive. They don't want to overstay their welcome.
Kio's Academy League.
Hello and welcome to the final week of Kio's Academy League Season 1. Sorry. And joining with me tonight, or today, in the coaching panel is none other than Kio himself, who recently had his birthday. Happy birthday, Kio.
Thank you so much, Reinhar.
And joining us for the casting today is JaynoSabe and Vendota. Welcome, guys. How are you guys doing?
Hello, I'm great. I can't wait for the game.
And today's series, or this current series, is the highly anticipated series, at least for the people in the Discord, between BLnT and Panini boys. These two are the quote-unquote stable team within the Discord server that has been around since even before the league. And we're looking forward to see how much they've improved throughout the league and tonight in the series. And so we're really hoping for 3 games instead of 2. And any thoughts on this, Q, while we're waiting for the first 2 bans?
Oh well, I'm very excited. I mean, they've been scrimming a lot in the past weeks, in the past months, and they are also very experienced, and they got loads of coaching, so it's gonna be a nice series, that's for sure. I have no clue who's gonna take it.
And just to add a twist, I've added the coach for Panini to record the internal comms for BLnT, and the coach for BLnT to record for Panini.
That's amazing.
Just to spice things up. Now we are expecting, at least I am expecting, a very bloody series. I know both teams can play very aggressive, and they have shown that in the league, or throughout the league, I should say. BLnT are known for their very classic, I would say, 4 protect 1 into their carry PA. Peace has been shown to be a massive master at this Phantom Assassin. Do you expect that to be coming out tonight or today's Kyo, or do you think like they're just gonna respect ban it and say nope, I'm not gonna play against that?
Well, I mean, I said it time and time again, I really want to see Bronx's Invoker. This man can actually invoke faster than myself. But it keeps getting target banned. We also like see the Nyx banned quite immediately. And Archer plays Nyx, Stormblaze plays Nyx. It's just interesting. Now we got the Mars first pick and the Phoenix. Well, not really a counter pick, but it's a nice response because you don't want to have a team get Phoenix and Mars. It's such a good combo.
And for those of you that don't know, if Mars ultis while Phoenix is using Egg, if the Phoenix is within the Mars ulti or outside of the Mars ulti, no projectile can actually hit the Egg itself. So this is like a very deadly combo. And we see a very classic Panini combo, which is the Shadow Shaman Mars. Shadow Shaman has been probably 3rd or 4th most contested hero in the league. And I think one of the most picked in the league as well. Well, Mars is the first, and like the by far, like a pretty large margin actually, the most contested hero in the league. Any thoughts on that hero?
I mean, the hero is really meta ever since the Satanic nerf. And I like that the teams are picking up on the meta, like the pro meta.
And Ursa second pick. Is this in the carry or so? Or what do you think? I'm not sure. Because Ursa is kind of weak against Shaman, right? You have so much control.
you can buy Aghanim's later and then get out of the hex, get out of the shadow
Very
yourself.
Very true.
It's not actually too bad.
And
But
this is go ahead.
interesting to pick it. I mean, it's good against Mars, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think if you wanna pick Ursa, you only gotta be careful with like Venomancer offlane or Beastmaster offlane, like all these slow heroes that kite you.
Mm-hmm.
But you already know the core matchup, and for Ursa, it's not too important who's the position 4. Like it could be position 4 or 5 Shadow Shaman, but it doesn't really matter. You wanna look at the core matchup for Ursa.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Like, what would Ursa not like to play against? I guess in a carry duel, I guess something like a Terrorblade, right? That just mauls you down in like 100 to 0 from like 3,000 miles away.
Yeah, exactly. Like one of the better matchups is, for example, Juggernaut. Simply for the fact that Juggernaut doesn't have a lot of health, and you like Abyssal, and Juggernaut does not like if the spin gets cancelled or the spin teleport.
And they did ban the OD, which is also another one of those classic Ursa counters. Like Ursa really hates playing against OD, especially with the new Airsoul Imprisonment, where it's just so low cooldown. And if you get like an Aghanim's, then it's just devastating.
They have banned Juggernaut, but that's one of the better matchups for Ursa. That's a little bit weird. Actually,
I think that they banned it for the egg, right? I think they banned it more or less for the egg, because Juggernaut has insane attack speed and really good attack animation. So
that's a good point. Also, like if you play Ursa into Juggernaut and Shaman, you kind of need Abyssal fast, like Rush, but you also need the Aghanims quite early, like second item, maybe third item. It's just kind of too much you have to buy from the get-go. Like, it's a bit interesting when you play carry in this meta. You really want to go into the game where you look at the draft, at the enemy heroes, or even your allies, and you try to figure out certain items that are absolutely necessary. And that's a good thing to do if you want to get a really good itemization, but it's a little bit tough if you notice that you need multiple of these items that are necessary for you to play the game. You will just deviate from your normal build, and if you die 1 or 2 times in a row, you can be absolutely screwed in these kind of games. So that's actually why the Juggernaut ban does make sense, but it's pretty complicated.
Another thing that I really like coming from BLnT is that they did pick one of their comfort heroes, which is Phoenix. Coincidentally, it's a kind of nice pick, the wombo combo for Panini boys.
Yeah,
right? So
exactly.
I like that. I like the Phoenix pick as well. Speaking of picks, Jakiro coming out with the Grimstroke answer from Panini boys. So I'm guessing this is a Shaman 4. What do you think about the Jakiro? Like, so far, Jakiro has been very, very strong throughout the league. Like, just everybody's kind of running into the ice path.
It's just a very strong hero, isn't it? He's so good at laning, he trades very well. And if it's a Shaman position, if it would be a Shaman position 4, Jakiro has no problem with that. And it's also very good against, with Ursa, simply because you can control enemy offlaners and Ursa can try to run them down. So I like the Grimstroke reply. Grimstroke's pretty good against Jakiro. Simply because of Stroke and how he buffs his offlaner with the Ink Spell, of course moving faster, so that kind of counters the slow. And of course, Grimstroke is very good with Shadow Shaman.
People really underestimate that, or forget, that if Shaman gets an Ether Lens and pulls off a double shackle, that's 2 heroes out of the game for like 5 seconds. That's
a lot
of damage.
If he gets the shard, and he doubles it, he gets like, what, 8 Serpent Walls?
Yeah, that's basically the ultimate, right?
So. Yeah. That is crazy. Oh, I like it. We see the axe. I was actually about to say that if you play a Phoenix 4, and you don't get the mass, you wanna get something like an axe. Just an AoE, hard control.
Especially for the egg hitter, right? Whoever that's
Yeah.
going to be for Panini Boys, if you just get the egg hitter down. And
And
we see the Invoker coming out.
Oh boy,
not
yes.
banned.
Yes, finally.
Okay, here we go.
Finally. I like that they didn't try to last pick it, because it would have been banned in like the last 2 bans.
Yes, I agree. But that is the egg hitter. Alacrity does give an insane amount of attack speed, especially with the talent. In case anyone is wondering, 40 attack speed plus damage. That's, if I remember correctly, half a Hyperstone. Just from the Alacrity itself.
Look at this, look at this. So you got like, I think like 160 or so attack damage and attack speed. And I did the math once, and apparently that kind of equals like a 9,000 gold item. You're basically giving your carry 2 big items.
Yeah, the
With
Moonshot,
Alacrity,
right?
Yeah, Moonshot plus Daedalus. It's literally Daedalus kind of damage.
Yes, it's without the crits, but
And
of course.
It's more than the Moonshot. It's like 40 more.
Mhm.
So yeah, the level 20 talent is very, very scary. And you already know it's gonna be an Ursa, so you can... I mean, of course, on Panini Boys, we get the carry last pick. While on Making Letters No Tomato, they decided to pick the mid laner last. Or who knows, maybe it's gonna be Ursa mid lane, but I don't think MXR plays it.
Now, one thing that could be interesting is that if MXR plays Razor mid, this Invoker is going to suffer. Like we've seen Bronx struggles really hard against Razor previously, and it has not been banned. You can see like the last 2 bans from the team. I'm not sure if, because Razor does kind of like snowballs the game for the Ursa as well, right? Because Razor is that kind of like fighting hero that you want, like gets tempo. It's really good for if people groups up. Like Razor does a ton of damage with his ultimate.
Razor's very good at kiting.
Really good at kiting. Like all of these factors in, and it is very, very strong against the Mars, right? You just zap him, and what can he do? Like, doesn't really do anything. Especially if they were to pick, I don't know, maybe Lifestealer or something. Like I can imagine picking Lifestealer, especially against Phoenix and Axe, right? If you pick Lifestealer into Razor, that game is over. But we see the Razor ban, unfortunately. Would have been a really good pick. Right. Any thoughts which hero they should pick for both teams as their last pick?
I think Panini Boys is very flexible.
Mm-hmm.
Simply because they have taken care of many, many things. If you like run down a kind of checklist, you have a lot of push, you have a lot of initiation, you have frontlining, backlining, you have tons of disable. Invoker can definitely go for extra greedy style. He can go Vex and play fast.
And this is something that I really like and enjoy throughout the league. Right? We transition from the teams drafting every greedy hero imaginable to like them actually thinking, okay, we need push, we need like a well-balanced team, we need like team fighting. Like they actually like think about this stuff. So it's actually very enjoyable to watch.
And like I was playing with my own team, and we are like Divine Immortal against Rank Immortal 500 team, and the enemies picked we picked the Mars first pick, and enemies did the Phoenix counter pick instantly, and we see the same stuff down here, and that was like Immortal rank 500, and we see the same replies in what, 3K? So I'm very impressed that these teams are picking up on the pro meta so fast. Okay, we do see the lifestealer that you mentioned. That's very interesting.
And it's a very strong lane, right?
Yeah.
While it is truly weak against Ursa, because Ursa does counter lifestealer, it does solve every other issue, right? It solves the Phoenix issue, it solves the Jakiro issue, it solves the Axe issue. So
yeah. And like we get to the same issue I talked about earlier. Ursa kind of has to rush Abyssal, but then he has survivability and damage problems. And he also needs the Argonauts at some point. Actually, you can't even get out of Soulbind. And then you also need a BKB on Ursa for like Mars and Invoker. Oh, DP is very smart.
This is such a balanced draft from both teams. I don't know what to do here.
That's just a 50-50.
I can't decide.
I gotta go with Panini's. We finally have the Invoker pick. It might be the first Invoker pick from their team. It always got banned, I think.
Dude, this is
So
so
I'm
hard. This
very
is
excited. I believe.
by
I
far
believe.
the hardest draft.
Yes. I'm gonna go 60-40 Paninis.
I'm gonna
Just
go
because of
50,
Invoker.
55 Panini, 45 BLnT. Like, this is just
Ooh.
so close. There's no way to know. This is insane.
That's true.
Like, this is just such a good draft. This is something you see in my bracket, like Divine Ancients bracket, right? Like, this
Yeah,
is such a
yeah.
well balanced draft from both teams. Like, I'm so excited to watch this game. Like, with that, like, both panels agree to get down on Panini, but very slim margin. And with that, we'll take it back to the casters. Jay and Vendota, take it away, boys.
Thank you for your award and for your analysis, Ryan and Keo. Now, ladies and gentlemen, at the stream, at the home, making coffee, welcome to the Kios Academy League Season 1. It's the last week. It's sad, but it's also, in a sense, happy that we've got to see so many teams, and we still have some teams to see. Last series, week 7 out of 7, 7 question mark. Uh, both teams, this is like kind of a matchup made in heaven. As mentioned by Ryan, they've been in the Discord for a long time. They're arch enemies. We're expecting a lot of blood. Both drafts kind of going 50-50 equal. I think this is very hard to predict. With that, then, seeing the drafts, what do you think? Because I will not bet on either team this game. I'm sorry.
Both teams have a really good draft, but there is one thing I'm concerned about. You have like this shaman and all these heroes, but Life is doesn't really do much damage before getting at least items, and
That's true.
Invoker Alacrity is like mid to late game. So if Ursa is like always the same item or one item ahead of Life Stealer with the Sunray heal, how do you kill Ursa? Because as we all know, Ursa is the Agi carry, but strength gain is more than his Agi gain. So with Phoenix, I like it a lot. Like all these three cores actually get a lot of heal from a Sunray Phoenix, and every time like they get shackled, Phoenix Sunrays, like what do you do against that? It's so much shield, and these heroes are really hard to kill.
No, I'm a
So
bit
that's
afraid.
one thing I'm
Uh,
concerned about.
I'm a bit afraid the other way around, right?
So,
Because you
butter
said
your
both like
bacon.
Lifestealer and Invoker are a bit maybe slower to start, especially if the Invoker will go Exort this game. But then again, it's gonna be really hard for Axe and Phoenix to do any sizable damage to this Lifestealer because he deals with them well. And as for the Ursa, well, there is a lot of control. So if his team cannot, get him away out of those hexes and spears, he may just not be able to do much in the fights until it's too late. That is until he gets the BKB. Now, serious question for you, as the game just started and teams pick runes to a piece. Ignoring the drafts, ignoring what we know, real life. Bacon, lettuce, no tomato sandwich, or a panini? What do you like more?
I mean, both are really good, but I would go with like bacon lettuce, honestly,
Okay,
because I
yeah,
don't
I'm
really
the
like tomato
panini boy
either.
myself, so we are 50-50 at least on that on the foodie chart, I guess.
Yeah, I like tomatoes. That's it.
Yeah. Now, I'm slightly surprised to see Grimstroke gonna push 5 on the bottom, and Shadow Shaman on the top. I think both are good pairings, but maybe with the Spear, the Grimstroke would have a bit easier time setting up the Inkswell stun. Oh, and talking about Inkswell, so on the bottom, Archer's actually gonna get stunned, and Xob has to respawn with the Battle Hunger level 1 to get the Grimstroke off of the Phoenix.
Yeah. In this lane before Axe is level 4 is like really a bit hard for Axe to deal with the mm, life fissile that's coming out of like life fissile. He's just gonna sustain the lane. But after level 4 they have kill potential. So they need to be looking forward to that.
Yeah. Or even level 3 with the Phoenix, you get that level 1 in Dive, 2 levels in Fire Spirits, and it's a really potent combo. But then again, I'm not sure if you want to go, into the Lifestealer with Grimstroke. Then again, the Inkswell comes in, right? Stuns the axe
Yeah.
and deals a lot of damage, and that could be the
Yeah,
decider.
it's just if you do them, you're probably just gonna die to the Inkswell on life fissile. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like level 4, the control Helix, you really need that pure damage because
Mhm.
life fissile can deal with Phoenix, but
Yeah.
that pure damage from Axe might be just too much after level 4 for life fissile to just outtrade Axe. You can't.
Yeah. What do you think about Invoker going Exort this game? Like on one hand, I like it because they will need the early damage before the Nikes kind of comes online. But at the same time, having the Quasvex Invoker, and maybe, on top, we actually maybe get a play. Stormblast Shadow Shaman is maybe in a bit of a trouble. Beast is level 2. He has the Earthshock, he has the Fury Swipe. He's hunting him. Arthas using her slow on the Dual Breath as well. But at the end of the day, too little damage, not enough movement speed. Shadow Shaman will walk away. Maybe a bit of a shame that the Ursa didn't go and invest into early Orb of Venom. That would probably seal the deal there. And on the bottom, we have
Yeah,
the
but
combo talking about Inkswell. Stun almost on 2. Axe gets stun. It's just level 1, so the stun is not going to be long enough, and he's been near his tower, or near enough, to be able to survive that as well.
yeah, they also now they're Axe is gonna get level 3 up this wave, and I assume they're the first ones to hit level 4 like this, which can like be much so good for them against this life as we talked about. If this Axe really hits level 4 first,
Yeah.
like I don't know if they really can deal with that damage, that pure damage.
Yeah.
So they need.
I'm a bit surprised though that that Lifestealer didn't go for at least a value point in Rage. Against the Phoenix, it's a viable thing to do. And then also Sub's build up. He sent himself a full magic wand, but I think maybe if he rushed the Ring of Health or sent himself the chainmail for extra armor, may have panned out better for him.
Yeah, I agree. Like because Life Stealer doesn't use any spells. Like it's just a rage.
Ooh,
And
Archer forced to dive on the bottom, and now Xop in a bit of trouble. Gets cut on the back end of Inkswell, and this time it's level 2 Inkswell. Xedox has the Orb of Venom, unlike his counterpart on top on the Ursa, and that's gonna net us the first blood.
yeah, it's actually like I was surprised with the one item because I like if he had even boots here or even the armor item from the face boots, he might have just lived here. And but the one really it's 0 charges. It's gonna stay around 0 to like maybe 2 charges
Yeah.
every time he uses spells. So it's a bit questionable.
Yeah.
But he lost the advantage he had, so he's not gonna get level 4,
Oh.
which is
And the
unfortunate
payback
for him.
from Archer coming in the form of killing Lifestealer's courier, so there is a bit of hope, Xedox conceding some of his gold to the enemy team. But yeah, as you said, I
Yeah.
agree with you. Like, I don't think want is inherently bad. I still like to go even for the light one, but on this lane, right, there's just like a lot of physical damage, a lot of constant damage and harassment. So getting the extra armor, getting the extra health from, Ring of Health could be the difference. And Archer actually in a bit of a trouble, underestimates Admiral Lucky already level 4 1-on-2 build, has the silences him, and before he can even kill the creep, he's gonna get stunned in an X-Wall and finished with the Stroke of Fate. Really underestimating that, maybe not realizing Grimstroke is level 4 and probably has the silence already. Huge misplay and another kill for the side of Panini.
Yeah, you just didn't expect the silence to come out, but like Grimstroke is level 4 and Archer is just level 2, and the Phoenix. So it's so unfortunate that they lost the advantage. So that's how it's gonna pay off now. You lost your advantage. Now you're in a disadvantage. That's how
And
it's gonna
Arta
pay off.
on
Like
top,
Phoenix
will
can walk
she
up.
live? Oh, she will live. She has the magic stick now, but Storm Blast is never ending his chase. Gets the other shock, but it's only level 1. Level 2 in Hex, maybe 1-0. Actually, quite uncharacteristic build from the Shadow Shaman. And the difference between level 1 Earthershock and level 2 Earthershock is the difference between him getting the kill there.
Yeah, I really like to get like Ether Shock to at least level 2 or 3, then start maxing the other spells. So, like it would have really made a difference, sir, but he didn't really get it. And also, Arthur leaves.
Yeah. Now, this is a bit dangerous because MXR is level 6 and he just picked up a haste rune on middle. We can maybe see some aggressive play on side lane or maybe even dive on the Invoker. On that note, though, I wanted to ask, like, what do you think about this 0 Shackle build on the Shaman? I kind of like it because he's against the Ursa and the Jakiro, right? So if Jakiro has Ice Path, he'll never get like a really good Shackle duration off, and if he shackles the Arthas Jakiro, he may get killed by Ursa. And talking about him getting maybe killed by Ursa, I think that's exactly what we're gonna see. Went for the courier, maybe big bit overzealous, wanted the extra gold. Ooh, nice spear by Schlorin. Mars saving his support, and at the end of the day, the Shaman is gonna walk away. Bit lucky maybe, but nice play by the Mars.
Yeah, I like the fact you didn't really get the shackle because, as you said, he can't really stay somewhere. even if you do the stun, it's so much damage. If he shackles Jakiro, Ursa is gonna kill him. If he shackles Ursa, Jakiro is gonna kill him. It's just so much damage. But
Yeah.
after
So
after
sorry, go ahead.
Mars
Go
is
ahead.
level after Mars is level 6 here, they have the potential to bear Ursa with the shackle and everything. But before that, it's just
Mhm.
so rough right now for them to really kill any of these heroes, either Jakiro or Ursa.
Yeah. And so far, looking at the CS and levels, the biggest difference right now is happening on these offliners because Axe was killed once and it cost him a little bit, even though he's keeping on the level fairly well. But if you look at the CS, this Mars is just doing great compared to his counterpart.
Yeah. I mean, it's just you can't really kill Mars as Ursa either because Shaman naturally like can deal with Ursa. Ursa wants to jump in, he gets hexed, then he like loses the movement is slow from the Earthshock and all that. So he can close the gap easily. That's why he didn't really die here. But now he's in threat. This time it's Ursa in the threat because of Mars is just level 6 and Shaman with
Yeah.
another point
And on the mid,
in
we have a little bit
the
of
Earthshock.
go. MXR decides to dive Bronx, but it's not going to result in anything. He's going to keep eat a couple tower hits for his trouble.
Yeah. Actually, it's a cool like a spell wheel by like Invoker. He actually put more points Q than E, like more cost on Exort because he knows he really needs to regen this lane rather than killing
Yeah.
DP because he
Oh, on the
can't really
bottom
kill
we have a
easily.
call from Xop on a full creep wave, but Xerk gets out of it, immediately pops the rage. Now stun coming from Admiral Lucky. Now there is the heal that we talked about. Xerk uses his ultimate to try to get the extra burst, but it's not enough. Maybe he pressed it a bit too late, otherwise it would have been fine. But with the Archer's Sunray, it's going to be enough to survive, and both teams will walk away with a low HP. Action going everywhere. Though this definitely, this like kind of slower laning phase, definitely favors Bacon Letters, not Panini boys. If you look, Invokers walking towards his Midas, they have better late game scaling.
Yeah. And as we talked about, like yeah, the life is still before getting that one or the first item, he can't do much. But after the second item, or even after the first item, with Invoker with the Alacrity, he's gonna do so much. Like the difference is so much, but like the power spike, you can't really deal with that because every time Phoenix hits egg, like he rages with Alacrity, the egg is down in just 2 seconds. So you need to really be careful about that on the
Yeah.
setup of the Snow Tomato.
Yeah, definitely. I'm a bit surprised that we're not seeing any rotations right now on the side of any lanes to try to use the 10-minute, catapult coming in, maybe going for some push. But both teams are happy keeping the lanes as they are, I guess. So that's what we are stuck with for now.
Yeah, they don't really want to break the lanes. Like the only thing is, I think MXR should rotate, but and Phoenix should take like forever now until they get 6 or 7, because Phoenix needs levels and DP needs towers. So they
And we
did it.
see them
They're actually
exactly
doing the
doing
rotation
that.
right now.
You are seeing into the future, my friend. And MXR
Yeah,
actually has a DD, not the best rune for DP, but still a sizable chunk. That's 200 right click coming from the hero that has a speed hack in Exorcism. And on the bottom, a little bit of action. Xop actually gets the call on bottom. Oh, he misses the Culling Blade. Now he spins, and now he wishes he had a Culling Blade. He spins again, and Lifestealer survives with just double-digit HP. And on top, actually, MXR came for the gang, but Bronx came for a counter gang, kills him 3-0 for Panini boys. And well, how the turntables, ladies and gentlemen.
yeah. I mean, we talked about him going bot on top. Like that was questionable for me. You want the bot tower, not the top tower on the DP, and against this, like Leicester can't do much against DP either. So if he went
Yeah.
bot, he could do much.
Yeah, and now
But
while the tower on top is falling, maybe Axe may be falling on the bottom. We see some TPs coming immediately from Marta. Is it going to be enough? No, the Ice Path catches him, but the Lifestealer still gets the last right click off. That's enough to finish the Axe. Now MXR TPs, he wants some revenge, but he knows they have no TP cancel, so he's just going to TP. He's like, see you later, bees, and I'm out of there. Really nice play, really nice presence of mind from the Lifestealer, knowing there are no stuns, so he's just out.
yeah, he's out. But this tower is at the threat of falling. They don't want to defend it, as I see Life is going to jungle. But yeah, it's a
Yeah.
trade 1 for 1. And They're map control
And
top
mid
right
lane is
side.
getting a little bit
Fine.
of pressure, you know, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's not gonna fall because Phoenix is there, but it still took like 1/4 of the damage, and Bronx wants to keep the pressure up. Oh, Arena on the bottom misses everyone though, sadly, but MXR doesn't almost. He's almost out of his ultimate. Well, what am I saying? 1/3 left. Oh, Soulblind, double hex. Xerox is running in. Will he get a stun on 3? No, just quote unquote on 2. Kills the Chikuro immediately. Now, nice call from Uxop. Gets a revenge on that Mars. Phoenix comes in. Will we see the egg committed? No, not yet. Uxop wants to chase now, though. Does Invoker has a TP? That's the question. Bronx has the TP in 9 seconds, but he doesn't have mana. Now, Sunray doing a lot of damage to the backline support. I think, yes, he will fall on the Shadow Shaman. Ooh, maybe a bit of a... I'm not sure if he didn't have mana or miscommunication, but Phoenix just dies to the Strong of Fate and a couple of right clicks from Lifestealer. And now MXR is just focusing on the tower. Xerix is farming. Will there be deny? No, MXR is winner of this battle. Gets the last hit on the tower. And at least something from this slightly unfavorable trade for the side of Bacon Lotus No Tomato.
Yeah, they got a tower. He came for the tower, so they can look to pressure mid tower with the next ulti, which is really good. That's where they wanted the tower. But meanwhile, like invokers are farming, but invoker has a Midas, so and invoker can really become a scary with a Midas. Like around 20 minutes, he's gonna have so much, and that no one can deal with. Especially a Battle Fury Ursa is not gonna deal with an invoker. So they're giving the space to invoker
Ooh, on the
instead of
bottom, we may
like
have a little
that's
bit
what I
of
like.
action. Mars is waiting for his arena. He may try to backstab them. He knows Archer has an egg and dive, so he may not want to risk it. But they may go for Xop. Nice arena catches onto, misses the spear though. An egg is immediately going to be committed, but it's just not going to be enough. Nice call on 1, but it's too little, too late. And now Axe will probably pay for it with his life. Meanwhile, on the mid lane, Jakiro actually dies, and we are watching the action. Will Xop be able to walk away? Definitely not. And Mars gets the double kill on mid. There was 1 extra kill on the Jakiro, and mid tier 1 fell as well. This game is going great for the side of Panini boys.
Yeah. I like the way they play and road. When DP has ulti, they don't play around Invoker because they want Invoker to base rather than Life Stealer. So they play around Life Stealer who doesn't really die to rotations. And then when DP has no ult, they come for the mid tower playing around who's stronger when DP has no ult, which is really smart.
Yeah, definitely super smart and super great. I feel like they're like just 30 seconds ahead of the Bacon Lettuce No Tomatoes. Like Bacon Lettuce No Tomatoes want to do something, but at the same time Panini are already ready. They are making their own rotation. And talking about making their own rotation, Phoenix just dies. Great hex into the shackles, into just Sunstrike, Cold Snap, the whole shebang, and another kill for the Bronx. He's having a game of his life, and it's gonna continue that way for now.
Yeah. And Life is already got the armlet. And once he gets the second item, like he doesn't really die very easily. Even Ursa, like we say Ursa actually counters Life is it's not really like that all the time because even in the late game, Life is so mobile with the rage. And Ursa is like those kind of heroes he kills one, he gets out. But against Life is you're never gonna get out. He's just gonna to the ends of the board, and that's the problem here.
Yeah, and another important part not to mention, if you look at the Ursa, he's going for Battlefield, right? Whereas this Lifestealer, he's going for more aggressive fighting build. He has the Armlet, he had the Orb of Corrosion before that and Facebook, so he wants to fight 24/7. Now, we see smoke from Panini Boys. They're pinging towards the middle. They will probably see Ursa now that he's on the bottom, so they will know that the rest of the team is probably there, and they want to do a wraparound. How well it will work. Mars has the blink. He can choose to go blink Ursa and try to badge him into the spear. Smoke pops, but the Ursa sees it because of the creep wave on the mid. Now jumps into Ursa, immediately commits ultimate, but he just gets pinned to the tree. Now there's going to be Sunstrike, but off the mark because of the Enrage status resistance, but cancel TP by Tornado Snowball, and this is 5v1, and you may be a boss, but you are not that boss level yet, and probably never will as an Ursa. So another kill and smoke that looked maybe a bit underwhelming at the start, but nets them to position 1 kill.
Yeah, it didn't look very good and like sort, but it worked that great. Ursa was like 2 or 3 camps away from getting the Battle Fury. Now it's late by 4, and they're just looking to get the tier 2 tower because they can. Ursa doesn't even have Battle Fury yet.
Yeah, and most importantly, great job by Mars holding that ultimate, right? Not committing arena, knowing his team is there, and the arena is not necessary to do really anything. So they are still in a great 110% fight ready shape.
Yeah. And Invoker
On the bottom, though,
for the
Xidok is getting cut out. Is there a call to cancel the TP? No, the call has already been used for initiation. This is rotation of 4 heroes trying to, maybe get a bit of a payback on Panini Boys and what they did to their carry. But this lifestealer is just so elusive, so hard to catch. You have just Egg and Call, and Egg is slow, and, if Call is committed for initiation, lifestealer can just walk away.
Yeah, I mean they got map control for it, so it's not that bad. Even though they didn't kill Life Stealer, but they're gonna lose a tier 2 tower, and they can't really get one. From what I see, they're all low HP.
Oh, MXR is gonna get
So
Sunstrike and he's gonna go low, so he's definitely gonna go back on immediately. Nice effort on the Soulbind trying to, cheekily catch the DP, but a great spacing, great positioning from the side of Bacon Lettuce No Tomato allows them to walk back. But yeah, if they got the tier 2 on the bottom, that would have been actually at least okay trade. But now they lost their tier 2 and they didn't get tier 2 in return, so they'll probably lose even a bit more map control, and game is gonna be harder and harder for them.
So one thing I want to talk about, like in these situations, like you know you can't really tier 2 tower and you're losing a tier 2 tower, don't go for it. Like if they stayed and got some map control, they had much better time, but they were low HP, so to get the tower, so they had to leave all that map control, so they didn't gain anything from that. At least they could have gotten some map control.
Yeah. And we see another problem set up for the gank. And the Lifestealer hides in the marsh, but it was all spotted by this nicely placed ward from the Bacon Lettuce No Tomato. So they will immediately group up, stick close, and be ready for any shenanigans that Panini Boys may want to try to throw their way. Is the smoke? Are they gonna smoke under the ward now? They're setting up for it. The Shadow Shaman has the smoke ready. Invoker will probably rotate for the smoke. Yeah, I think they should have seen just the end of it. So they're pinging. Their pings actually from Nikes where they want to go, but I think they should be wise to it. Archer actually gets cut up. He pops the smoke and immediately dives away. Nice, smart play, and with that, the effort of last 30, 40 seconds has just been negated. Great positioning, great play.
It wasn't best time to smoke. Their lanes weren't pushed. So look at the mid lane. It's in favor of Bacon Lettuce No Tomato, and it was in favor of Bacon Lettuce No Tomato. So they had information enough to know something is happening if they're not showing either on mid or bot. So it wasn't the best. You should really push the lanes before smoking.
Nobody was showing, and not only that, right? But this lifestealer was not farming. He was hidden inside of the Mars for like 30, 40 seconds. Yeah. And Ursa has his Battle Fury now, so he'll be farming quicker. And if the game goes long enough, the tables could turn around, and this Ursa could become the scary menace with the combination of DP and then Xop, working on his Blade Mail. Also a very great item this game. So, you had a great start. You have nice advantage in kills and gold, but one bad team fight, and all may be as it was at the start of the game. You may lose your advantage very, very quickly.
Yeah, like we can predict what's what now. Like if which team is the stronger, which team is probably gonna win a fight. But in 10 minutes from now on, both teams have the chance to win a fight because of the way they're like great team fight spoils, great ways to turn around team fights. And from now on, you can't really predict the game. It's just who outplays who gets luckier and all that.
Yeah, and we see Beast clicking the early BKB. He also has the Sanch and Blink Dagger on the buy, but I think he may want to get the super early BKB to be able to fight if he needs to, but not necessarily try to force the fight. And if that's the case, then the fight may get way, way harder for the side of Panini Boys. You get like well-placed aggressors protecting it with a BKB. You have a DP's ultimate going on, and suddenly it's very hard to fight into this. Even if you kill the egg, you're still standing in the death trap at ultimate and Ursa beating you.
I think like you want BKB, but BKB doesn't really change much either against these heroes. They can just run away, and you can do much damage. Sun Yusha is good because of the Phoenix Seal too. So
on a mid, we actually have a little bit of a jump. Yes, nice jump from the Mars, but Phoenix again, Archer really quick on his fingers. Definitely adept at running away from the fights, ladies and gentlemen. No, I'm sorry, Archer, that was mean. But again, great reaction using the dive to distance himself, and all of this is just buying time for the Ursa to get more and more and more. Though talking about Ursa, he's been spotted. Ooh, the spear misses, and now he knows there is no TP cancel, so he's immediately gonna start TPing out. A great play. And yeah, just again, space for Ursa. He's catching up on the farm. Are the Eclipse Lifestealer?
Yeah, and Lifestealer is just 600. No, 800 from the desert. So once they can melt towers with their alacrity. So and they really are kind of on a timer against these heroes because Life is Zero doesn't have a farming item and Ursa does have a farming item. So after that, they should just look forward to just take objectives and all that.
Yeah. I think maybe right now, like, I know what Panini are trying to do. They are trying to find that catch, right? Get a good fight. But if you're not finding it, you should do what they are doing now. You should either force tower or go force Roshan. Because this way you are just losing your advantage, right? You're losing the time. You're getting Ursa more time to get back into the game. Now, Smoke from the Big Land is not tomato, but immediately gets popped on the sub. So Xidok knows what's going on. He's going to be going back. The tower on the mid is gonna eat some sizable damage because of these Rasta wards, but it should survive for now. Let's see if maybe Mars will want to jump in. Nice Ice Path catches the Lifestealer, silence on him. Drain even, that's a lot of damage going in there. But again, nice spear from the Mars, just making sure he distances. Ooh, jump from X, catches one, but there's the counter initiation now. Phoenix, Egg placed kind of bit off to the side. If they can pull them in, that's gonna be a great one. It should still stun the Mars. Yeah, it stuns him silent, so it will probably trade off 1-for-1 offlaners. That's good. Ooh, nice Soulbind though on the Ursa and the Arthur. Double Hex now. Will we see the double shackle? Yeah, and now Lifestealer is going to work immediately. Kills the Jakiro. Nice Sunstrike coming in. Lifestealer almost dying, but manages to hide in one of the fourth spirits of the Invoker, and this is 4-for-1 trade. That was a great kill, but maybe walking up the high ground was a bit of a mistake, bit of overzealous from side of Bacon Loves No Tomato.
Yeah, they were like Life is Zero could have died under the tier 2 tower, but they hesitated so much so far that he actually went to triangle and they were on the high ground and they just jumped in onto the high ground. It was so rough for them to like even take that fight. They didn't take it when they had to, and it was just too late after that.
Yeah, I think if like when they cut the Lifestealer with the Ice Path right here, right? If Archer just dies like right around here in the tree line, he can easily get the echo. Ooh! Oh no no no!
Oh wow!
The Sunstrike into the mesh coming through, and that's slightly unfortunate. It actually was alright. It actually wasn't the Sunstrike because Invoker is playing with the Lifestealer. It was just a lot of damage from Roshan. Roshan going beast mode, and now actually. This could result in Roshan Aegis for Ursa and first side of Big Lotus No Tomato. Bit of a misplay coming from the Panini boys, and this can make give the game and kind of a breath of fresh air back to the side of Big Lotus No Tomato. Oh, they actually get it, uncontested, and wow, just wow, yeah. And Ursa will have
time
what
when Creeps actually won the game. And now this time Ursa and Roshan maybe it's gonna win the game for them, man. These guys,
these neutrals, dude.
These people, maybe they have paid Gaben to just work for them. I don't know. What is?
I don't know. Let's check the creep damage. You know, is it the same on both sides? Did somebody check the replay? Let's see if Roshan suddenly didn't get like 1,000 right-click damage for that one attack there.
Perma bash, man. Like. Ursa perma bashing.
Yeah. Talking about perma bashing, Ursa may lose his Aegis now. Nice tornado into Star Orchid. Nice. Beast actually uses the Enrage to survive, otherwise he would die. And this is important because even though he has to quote unquote waste his ultimate, it's a low cooldown, but he manages to conserve the Aegis, which is huge.
No, he didn't get Aegis. Aegis is still up, so
yeah, he managed to conserve it, right? Like it didn't get popped. So
yeah.
That's a huge for the side of Bacon Lotus No Tomato.
Yeah, like they gave away the Aegis. They wanted to just remove it from Ursa, but now he has it, and he might complete it. As we talked about Phoenix Seal, Phoenix has level 3 Sunray and 2 level 4 because he's gonna get the ult in the next level. So it's looking really rough with these 3
yeah, but let's see how
forwards.
it's looking now. There's a smoke, there's a wrap around. Mars actually finds them. Nice. Arena manages to get. Oh, quick fingers on the Archer, but the Egg is just not gonna be enough. DP on the backline is gonna silence. Oh, Soulbind on Jakiro and Axe, and now on the Axe and MXR, and again 4-4-0 quick jump. Nice effort, but this Mars just doing all the heavy lifting for his team. Nice Arena catches the Phoenix, even though Phoenix manages to get the Egg. There's just not enough protection there to keep the Egg alive, and that's all she wrote. You know, if you can't protect your Egg in this game, it's probably gonna be a lost fight for you. So great target priority by the Panini boys. They know exactly who to jump and who to focus, and it's paying off.
Yeah. They have like good counter initiation, but they stick so close together and they don't have to. Like Axe has to stay away from Phoenix because they are the counter initiation heroes.
Yeah, exactly. Rags are gonna fall on me. There's just nothing BLnT can do. And yeah, one ray of hope is that this Ursa finishes SNY, still has the Aegis for probably around 3 minutes, I think, give or take, maybe 2.5. But you've already lost the first lane of Rex, and I think now it's time to smoke and maybe try to get a, a cheeky pick somewhere to kind of get yourself back into the pace.
Life is already getting the halberd. He's about 600 gold away from it, so he's gonna get it soon. So Ursa can get like Ursa isn't gonna be anymore because he might go for the blink. I'm not sure if he's gonna get the BKB. I like both. Both work in a way. Like if even if you get BKB, I'm not sure if you can really close the gap until so mobile, Life Stealer and Invoker. You don't really care about the others. So that's the problem with BKB, and you need to close the gap.
Yeah.
So I like both items.
I think it's super lucky for Beast. If you look, he actually has the Paladin Sword, and he has the SNY, and the self-regen and lifesteal amp is working on the neutral items as well, if I'm not mistaken. So now Beast is, even a bit tankier than maybe suspected. But while they're going for the tier 2 or bottom on top, Panini boys are pinging the next lane. Both teams using Fortify. TPs immediately coming from the side of Bacon Lotus Tomato, but that may set up them for an easy kill. Arta getting silenced, getting bashed, but Mars decides not to commit, and now maybe Mars in a little bit of a trouble. Nice egg placement. Nobody's focusing the egg. No, Lifestealer knows his mission. I don't think the egg is going to go off, sadly. Yeah, Lifestealer kills it, but that was a great jump. Maybe a bit too forward, but the arena keeping 3 and 4 in. 3 people already dead. All for Mars. Beast is still surviving. He still has the Aegis. Everybody's going to die except the Ursa that has the Aegis, and Tier 3 is going to fall. Oh, Shadow Shaman maybe pays for it with his life. Can we get one more attack? No, and that's going to be the Aegis of Ice Wall, so he's going to have a very hard time chasing anybody out of there because he doesn't have Blink, he doesn't have the BKB, he doesn't have anything, and now Bronx actually staying around thinking about a kill. EMP into the Tornado with the Ice Wall, Cold Snap with the wards, half HP down, all the mana down. 2 buybacks actually from the side of Bacon Lotus No Tomato as well on the Death Repet and Phoenix, but that's just it. It's just tier 3 is gonna fall, your rest of your team died, you forced 2 buybacks, and you skedoodle out of there. Great, again, great call by Panini. They are they are pushing the pedal to the metal where they should, and they are taking the foot off the gas where they should as well.
It might sound stupid, but I think Phoenix shouldn't even use it before Life Stealer is dead. Like, in this game, honestly, your best spell isn't even your egg. It's really the Sunray because of your heroes.
Yeah, and not only that, but I think maybe, I get what Archer is trying, but I think, you see how the game was going, right? You maybe want to position the egg even a bit more defensively, because this time he went kind of to the side and it was out of the arena, and it was nice. But maybe just poke the egg, on the, if you look at the map on the top, the arena was around here. So instead of popping the egg here, you pop it back here and make your team run to this edge of the arena, so enemy is less likely to follow you up and run into the egg. But sadly that just didn't happen, and yeah, again, they just can't get the Phoenix egg off. One fight when they get the egg off is gonna be the fight that they're gonna win.
I mean, honestly, I just, even when I think about it more, Sunrise is 4 times better than Egg, 4 times better, honestly, in this game against Hypersware and Mars, and your 3 heroes have great strength growth. Even Ursa, an Agi hero, his strength growth is much more than the Agi gain. So that's the fact. If you use back and not use Egg and use, you're doing too much already, much more than using Egg. And even if it's get off, you need the Sunray much more.
Yeah, Archer should definitely, when the arena goes down, he should definitely just stay back and look maybe to use one hero and then immediately start sunraying everybody. And once maybe, the arena goes down or enemy is trying to run away, that's where you commit the egg. Oh, nice catch from Xob, but again, Soulbind on 2, they can get enough of it, and MXR gets out of the arena. Now, this is the defensive egg I was talking about. Just get it on the outside, make sure that enemy is gonna get stunned. MXR is still living. Now, the Sunray, but he cancels it super early, and Mars just finishes the DP with God's Rebuke, and that's gonna be another lane of Rex, and your position 2 and 3 are dead, your Rex are down, and again, even with the egg going off this time, you just die too quick, or I don't know, there's a little bit of juice liking, it feels like, a little bit of damage or stun, I'm not sure, but so far Panini Boy is taking the better end of the stick every single time.
Yeah, and now Ursa has BKB, but as we talked about, he can't close the gap heroes. He just can't jump in, and he can't run in because of the life steal. If you wanna run in, you're gonna die. she doesn't care about your BKB, he's just gonna hit you forever. So that's a problem that he has. But this time egg was really good. Like he used Sunray time, then egged, then another Sunray which he cancelled very early. I was surprised by that. But this fight they really did play better than other fights, but like it's just too little too late.
Yeah, sadly. Though, one thing I think, looking at it, even maybe it's easier to say it, right, as a caster or coach, seeing it from the third perspective. But so far, it feels like every single fight is initiated by Panini boys, and that gives them the option to just place the arena where they want. That gives them option to Invoker, and both supports just throw their spells from the backline, and that is just paying them huge dividends in those fights. So maybe on the side of Bacon Lotus and Tomato, they need to, grow a pair, get big balls, and just jump in and say YOLO. Like, let's go for it, guys. Let's try to get a fight on our terms. Let's not let them set up the arena. Let's not let them set up the shaman wards and their CC. Let's force them to maybe panic a bit, be under the pressure. Maybe they'll make a mistake, right? Maybe they'll waste a spell.
Yeah, I really. If there is no room for hope, then there is no room for fear. If you're like hopeless of winning a fight when they are initiating, then what are you afraid? If you initiate, you either win or you just lose. So just take the chance, and it might work out much better. Like catching them off guard, getting one target, then it's outnumbered.
Yeah, because so far, right, every fight is like maybe they get a kill and sometimes not even that, and they lose 3-4 people for that, which is really bad. So even if you lose the fight when you jump in, if you get 2 kills and trade it for 4, that's still better than what you're getting now, right? And that's maybe, again, like, I'm not trying to say Big Little and Tomato are playing bad, because I think they're playing great, but for the last 5 to 10 minutes, it's feeling like they're more like, they're waiting to be beaten rather than trying to win. Like, they're trying not to lose instead of trying to win. That's kind of what it feels like. Like they are doing all the safe plays. They don't want to be in the dangerous position, but this has just not been working. So maybe instead of trying not to lose, go aggressively, right? Try to win.
Yeah, I really agree with that, because if defensive option is not working, then try the like aggressive offensive option. Then just go run at them, like catch them off. Otherwise, there's not much you can do against now Aegis on Life Stealer with Halberd and a Cheese. How do you really kill this guy? And Ursat, what do? He BKBs, now he can jump in, but it's just too late right now.
We saw a little bit of BM coming actually from Admiral Lucky, pointing out that this time Lifestealer got the better of the Roshan and got the Aegis. He didn't die, multiple dots. There's probably like 15, 16 dots, and even Kyo gets a bit of a laugh out of that. So that's that's good, seeing players evolve, seeing that Lifestealer is getting better at taking Roche down.
Yeah, great improvement. I can't believe.
Great improvements, yes.
Like, how do we not die to Roshan? It's really hard.
Okay. Maybe we are going a bit too far there, but let's see. Panini boys with these ages are definitely poised to make the push for the last lane of Reich, standing on the side of Bacon and Snow Tomato, and let's see what's gonna happen. Meatball is committed to just clear the creep wave, so that's a big cooldown. Oh, we see the Shadow Shaman has the shard, so that's gonna be 3 wards to siege the tower with. Ooh, nice tornado, presence of the mind, but even nicer blink coming in from the beast, dodging the tornado and not getting caught in the side of a tree line, probably jumped by the Mars immediately after. Ooh, this is the aggressive play that we talked about. Smoke, we see the line draw towards the triangle entrance, trying to go from the back. And knowing that if they just defend the high ground as they did till now, it didn't work 2 times, probably not gonna work the 3rd time, so let's get a jump. Ooh, smoke pops, now they see some heroes, so jumps, nice jump, gets the Invoker on the backline, and Shadow Shaman dies immediately as well. Great arena, there is the egg, is the egg gonna live? Probably not again. The Jakiro already died, both supports on the side of England and Tomato died, but they traded Puros for... No, actually they didn't, the Invoker lived, and now he's gonna control the ever-living crap out of the Ursa, he's just disarmed at the end. X is gonna die as well, and now Beast jumps in, but he's gonna get speared, and that's probably all she wrote. I don't think Beast is gonna live through this because of all the slow. Now Rage comes in, so you cannot even silence him, and Sirok has the Aegis still, even the Chi, so he can go. He decides to not do, backs off after seeing the 2 buybacks from the Axe and from the Jakiro, but even through all of this, this was probably the best fight we've seen from the Bacon, Lettuce, and Tomato the whole game. They took the initiative, they went from the back. Again, it was not favorable trade, didn't work out for them, but they didn't lose Rex for it this time around, and they actually got some kills. Almost killed Invoker as well, just a little bit of luck missing there.
But they read it. Like, they knew it actually. Panini Boys knew it. Like Invoker used Forge of Spirits and put it up to a high ground. They did it there, so they instantly saw Axe and they actually like set up for it.
Yeah,
They got Invoker, yeah, but it just 1 second. If they were 1 second late, Invoker wasn't gonna leave there, as we all saw. But Burning Bronx, really great play. Forge of Spirits up the high ground. They see Axe 1 second, Axe jumps in, but they really knew it. Even 1 second, just that 1 second changed everything.
yeah. It's a shame though, because even though he saw them, Xop got a great jump, right? He got the blade mail off. He jumped. He next to the Invoker. He got the Berserker call. So the Invoker was control. All talking about control. Ursa in a little bit of trouble. Great Hex gets the BKB off, but doesn't even get the ultimate off. He's gonna die. Xop now jumps in with the BKB, with the blade mail, but it's not gonna do anything through the magic immunity. Even Meme Hammer now. Axe dies on the backline. Silence on this lifestealer. Will he die this time around? No. And again, it's 4-4-0. The same old story that we see the whole game. They just get a nice jump arena. Aegis is gonna get popped, but Shadow Shaman jumps in, gets nice hacks into the shackles. Admiral Lucky is gonna get the Inkswell stun, and that's all she wrote. DP dies as well. No buybacks. So GG is gonna be called. And 13 minutes in, 33-6 affair. It looked very one-sided, but it was fairly close the whole time. Maybe a bit more aggression from Bacon Lettuce No Tomato. You know, not letting the enemy dictate the pace of the fight, but with that, we will give the word back to our coaches, Raid and Kyo, who can explain more of what happened to us.
Very much, Jay and Vendota. Welcome back to the coaching panel with me and Kyo. And what a game! Game one, very, very close up until I think minute 15, where Bacon Lettuce kind of crumbled and started making a lot of mistakes. All right, what are your thoughts on game one, Kyo?
Well, thank you to the casters, first of all. And I think the game was very impressive. Like, we saw a lot of good rotations, lots of good ganks, lots of nice item builds, lots of really cool smoke plays, and I really like how both teams played the map. Like, they really understood that the map is split in the mid lane, rather than the river.
One thing that I would like to point out is that in this game in particular, while MXR did have the advantage early on in the game, he did not capitalize on it. Rather, Bronx kind of did what MXR should have done, which is to push out the tower early, go to the top tower, and like push it out early and get the enemy jungle secured. While MXR, even though he has the quote-unquote better pushing power, he didn't do much. Like, he had ultimate for, I think, 3.5 minutes or even 4 minutes. After he got level 6 at like 4.5 minutes, 4 minutes 40, something like that, he did not use his exorcism once. He did not rotate once, even though he had like plenty of chance to do so. And I think that's the critical point. That's I think the first card that kind of crumbles for BLnT, where MXR just kind of passively plays the lane. It's kind of reversed, isn't it? Like normally the Invoker wants to play the passive game and like say, okay, you know what, whatever. Like I'm not gonna like push too much. I'm gonna farm because I know I need to be the CC for the Ursa later on in the game, right?
Right.
And while MXR, he's the one supposed to be giving space for the scaling Ursa because he is going Battle Fury, right? He wants to be the one going active, but the role kind of switch a little bit, right? Like Bronx kind of played that tempo hero, even though he went for that exort build, and MXR just, I don't know why he played passive. I don't know what's going on. Maybe he was too scared. Maybe something got into his head. But
the problem in Bacon's draft is that they have no catch.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you look at Axe Blink, it's more like counter initiating. Like when you play Axe Phoenix, the only calls that you can make, the only blink calls that you can make, is either catching somebody in a skirmish. But in big team fights, as we saw Lord, you wanna counter initiate on the egg. Like you get the Lifestealer and the Mars and Mocha and whoever else to hit the egg a few times, and then you blink call on them. Protecting the egg, then you have BKB piercing disable call and the egg. Enemies are stunned for like what, 6-7 seconds? You can kill them in that time. That's kind of how you're supposed to play this kind of draft, when you lack the catch. And then you gotta figure out, well, how do I pressure the enemy team so that they even decide to go on me in the first place, so that I can counter-initiate? And As you mentioned, the answer is MX are pressuring towers with Exorcism and rotating, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of pressure if he tries to get a tower each time he has his ultimate. Panini boys have to reply to that. You can't split push all game.
And
that's
another
kind of
thing
how
that
you get the enemies to jump you, and then you counter initiate, and then you have a nice fight. But it is very hard to coordinate, very hard to identify.
Another thing that I really appreciate, I guess, for both teams is that both offlaners opted for the blink first item, right?
Yeah.
And throughout the league, we don't see that often. And actually, that's I know it's surprising, but it's actually like probably second or third item even for most offlaners that we've seen. And this game in particular, both offlaners had the piece of or the correct place of mind to like think, okay, you know what, we need blink, we're gonna do it now. But I felt like Mars had just way more of an impact with his blink than the axe, simply by virtue of just the axe just dying too much in the lane. And I think that's like the second card that kind of falls over for BLnT, because while the draft is solid, as I mentioned to you before, Kyo, this game is just literally who makes more mistakes than the other team, right? So I feel like BLnT just kind of crumbles hard. Right? Like the first card, which is the rotation from MXR, didn't happen. The aggressiveness from the axe didn't happen. The egg just kind of got focused down by the lifestealer, while no counter initiation came from the axe. And it just like it felt like there was no coordination from BLnT, which is, I think, is like the third card that kind of the third strike, I guess. The third strike that kind of like out them from the game completely. Because up until this point, or up until like 15 minutes into the game, everything was going okay, right? They were like 0-2 or like 0-4 or something like that. Nothing much was really like there was barely any net worth difference, even in CS, right? Maybe like the Panini got like what 10 CS more on each lane, but like it's not like BLnT aren't farming. They were doing well. Like they had items, they had timings. It just felt like BLnT didn't coordinate as good as the Panini boys.
True. I would say the Paninis were very prepared and very, very focused. It was really impressive to watch them play. Like even the item builds, like Bronx going for a Kaya Sanj, like that's very interesting. But if you think about it, the Sanj is actually really good in this kind of game, because the enemy team lacks these small disables, which usually mean you need a BKB. But look at the disable that they have. So first of all, of course, we have BKB, a piercing, Axe Call, and Phoenix Supernova, and potentially also Abyssal Blade. So a BKB doesn't help against those. And then we have Ice Path and the Death Prophet Silence. BKB is also not very good against those, because they're both very spammy. So, sure, during the BKB duration you're protected, but right before it, right after it, you're gonna get disabled for sure.
Another thing that I want to point out is that in this game in particular, what I really like, and something that the panel has previously, in previous weeks, previous series mentioned as well, none of the players or none of the heroes on the side of Panini's went for any defensive items, right? We can see a switch up, kind of like you mentioned, between the position 1 and position 2, where Bronx kind of took over the farming role, and Zidok went for the more fighting build, which is like aligns very well for the draft, because if you notice throughout the game, the one reason why they're so successful in every team fight is this Mars Lifestealer combo, right? Lifestealer jumps into Mars, fighting early before the enemy got their items, before the enemy got their timings, just burst down one hero, and then Lifestealer can just focus on the egg.
Exactly. That was beautiful.
Another thing that I would like to point out as well is that what most people don't realize, I guess a lot of people in the league don't actually know this, but position 1, position 2 doesn't actually mean, oh, if I am position 2 Invoker, then I need to make space every single time. No, not necessarily. It depends on the game, right? If you have this really strong Mars combo that can make space, then you as Invoker should take that space, right, and scale into the late game, right, and then help your team that way. If likewise, if you think okay, the my carry is like a PA or something, and he can't really fight early, then you should be the one making space, right? So position 1, position 2 is simply the order or the priority who gets more farm. It doesn't mean that the one person is stuck in this position, right? Like what I'm trying to say is that positions in Dota is very dynamic, right? It's like if you notice in pro games, if there's an Earthshaker pick in the team, at like 10-minute mark, this Earthshaker will never join a team fight ever. Right? He's the position 1 at that exact moment. He's farming his blink. His team is like, you know what, do whatever you want, take all of the space, right? And his team is gonna fight on the other side of the map, right? He's the position 1. So, like, in Dota, there is no such thing as a fixed role. You have an assigned role, but it's not fixed, right? And I really like the way Panini played this out because, like as you mentioned, this Invoker is the one that's actually going to scale in the late game. Lifestealer's job is to, as I mentioned before, just to hit the egg, right? As soon as the egg is dead, like his job is done. Right? Like he can like maul the other hero, it doesn't really matter.
Like,
go ahead.
The thing is, if you switch up these dynamic positions, as you mentioned, the matchups do change. It's not Lifestealer against Ursa. We already know Lifestealer's not that necessarily great against Ursa. So you just make it Lifestealer versus DP and Invoker versus Ursa, right? Invoker farming, Ursa farming. DP fighting, Lifestealer fighting.
And it is much more favorable to actually fight against DP with a Lifestealer than it is to fight against an Ursa, right? So
it is similar to when you have a draft and let's say you have like, I don't know, let's assume you have like an Underlord pick against maybe an enemy Axe, and you just think to yourself, well, that's a good matchup. I mean, sure, they don't play against each other, right? One is in the top lane, one in the bottom lane. But then you make it so that you put your offlaner in the safe lane, and you put a tri lane in the off lane with the carry farming and support zoning the enemy team. This is very similar when you switch up position 1 and 2. Because you simply throw the enemy team off by having better matchups. Like, I'm actually very impressed by that. This is not something I see in the skill bracket enough. This is something I expect from high immortal teams. I'm really excited to see this kind of stuff in the league being executed properly.
Yeah, and we got a treat today.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed the way the roles for the supports in Panini changed as well. If you realize that actually Stormblast weren't playing that aggressive this game. Like, if anything, Admiral Lucky was the one playing more aggressive, playing more of that like rotation role than Stormblast, right? Like, sure, he got some nice hex and like shackle, but the one actually going in first support-wise was actually Admiral Lucky in this game, which I think works wonder for the Panini because for the combo to actually be pulled off, you do need to get that Grimstroke going in first, right? And they realized that immediately and switched their position, right? So like the one that's supposed to be passive kind of goes active, and the one that's supposed to be active goes passive. And I really like that dynamic that they kind of figure it out in the middle of the game, in the heat of the moment, basically. Like if you notice in the early game, they didn't really pull it off any combo, right? And then they somehow kind of like had a switch or something. Like I don't know what happened, but then after like I think the first 2 team fights where they won, they just kind of switched. Like, okay, you know what? Whatever, I'm just gonna go in first. And then Admiral Lucky got really aggressive. Sure, he died a couple of times, like we saw that, right? But at the end of the day, all that matters is that he pulled off the ultimate. The double shackle comes out, and Panini like rose on the top, and BLnT just crumbles.
Yeah, but even the Bakers having a tough game, they itemize very well. Like we do see a lot of defense, which is kind of what you should do when you get jumped. Like we have the US BKB on DP, we have the Sanj BKB on Ursa, we have the Glimmer Cape Rush on Jakiro or Arta. That's also very impressive, just very solid type of gameplay, sticking to the principles.
And while we wait for this draft to go underway, another thing that I'd like to mention as well, this thing that we're discussing right now did not happen for the first 6 weeks of the league.
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious, what the hell happened like between last week and this week, right? Like, what is going on? Like, any thoughts on this? Because we didn't see even a glimpse of any of this, right? Even like the idea of this didn't even present itself, right? Like for both you and me, like we play on the bracket that where this happens almost every day in the same tempo, but this kind of thing doesn't happen in I guess like for Panini it's like Crusader average, and Bacon it's like around the same Crusader average, like high Crusader average.
I
But
think
this
they
doesn't
ranked up to
happen in that
Archon, but
bracket.
yeah.
Okay, but let's say
actually
Archon. But
winning.
even then, even in Archon, right?
Yeah. No, I mean I mentioned it. It's like Immortal, like high Immortal thing, like 3-digit Immortal. I'm really impressed that I see this here. Oh, we got the respect ban. Shell Shaman.
Okay, I don't think we're gonna
Very
see the Invoker.
Yeah, Invoker's gonna get banned. Wait, did he have 0 deaths actually? Yeah, he had 0 deaths. Oh my god.
I really like that Sanj pick by the Invoker. Like I mentioned to you before, it actually saved his ass 3 times over. Like, that was like way worse than the money.
The
than
end of the
money he
smoke
spent.
play when they tried to defend bottom racks.
Yes.
If Bronx died there, they would have lost the fight.
Yes,
It was so
100%.
close.
100%. Because what the reason why if Bronx died, I would have lost the fight because the control for the Ursa, like Ursa would have mauled on the Shaman and the Grimstroke at that point, and then both Zudok and Mars, Lifestealer and Mars cannot man fight that Ursa without the Invoker. That's just not possible. The fact that this Invoker stayed alive, pulled out another tornado, came in with the meteor into Sunstrike, that was just beautiful.
Also, one more thing. There's a bit of advice I want to give to the Bacons. So, whatever your draft is, there's like a certain category of fights that you like to take. And in the last game, you were lacking catch. That means, I mean, the reasoning is complicated, but let me just believe me if I tell you, it's very hard to fight outside of pressuring towers or defending towers. It's very hard to fight in jungle areas or in roguish areas, for that matter.
Another thing that I felt like kind of like the pressure was really getting to the Bacons was the moment where they defended mid tier 2, where they kind of went and chased to the high ground instead of fighting under tower when they had all the opportunity in the world to actually like fight under tower. They were smoking, like they did everything correct. Like they smoked, they went in, they tried to do their combos in, but they kind of hesitated. Right, like the pressure of the game really got into their heads. And I know I said this a lot, and I think what most people don't teach you is like the psychology in Dota or the mentality in Dota is a very crucial point. If you let the pressure get in your head, the game is just gonna get harder and harder and harder. And an immediate Invoker pick.
Wow.
That's some confidence right there.
That's actually, isn't that like TI9 meta?
I think
like,
so.
Wasn't it like a new thing at TI9 after the group stage? That they started to second pick the mid laner and then protect it with the 3 bans? Ah, the Racer, there we go. They are doing it.
Yep.
Okay, we do see the Centaur, also very cool. It's one of the best, or probably the best hero of Xorb. Exciting.
I kind of don't like the Centaur against the Underlord, because
yeah, I mean, the Pit of Malice is very annoying for Stampede.
Not just that, but like, yeah, what do you do against the Underlord? You can't really kill him, you know?
Yeah.
They don't have an answer to this Underlord. Like, he's just gonna stand there, be menacing, and like invite you to fight him, and then like it's gonna like
I mean, well, It's interesting. So Centaur and Lakes are a lot about running people down and finding skirmishes, finding gangs. But Underlord usually indicates that a team is not gonna split up, right? Underlord is about sitting in lanes and buying aura items and defending towers. And Nyx and Centaur really don't shine against enemy teams being 5, right?
Another thing that is interesting in this dynamic is that Panini boys, while of course this is gonna be like the position 3, position 2, it gives so much flexibility for the support to pick whatever they want, right? Because this is like a stable kind of like 2 cores lineup, right? Like
Yeah.
Underlord is pretty stable in lane. He can solo the lane. He can even go jungle if things go bad. Invoker kind of does the same. There's really no restriction on what they need or have to pick for their supports, right? They can still go for like Lich or something, which paired up with the Underlord, that thing is pretty much unkillable. We see a lot of reserve time being used by the BLnT Tomato, while almost no reserve time being used by Panini boys. Is this just confidence, or do they have like a solid game plan? What do you think?
It's probably preparation. It's gotta be. Luna. There must be a support Luna, right?
Yeah, I think so. Like, I don't think they're gonna.
I actually like this a lot with Underlord. Because Underlord doesn't need any help, and Luna isn't really the best laner, the best laning support. But Luna is very, very, very greedy. Like, essentially, you're trying to rush Arganims on a hero and rushing Refresher right after that. Like, that's 10k, or almost 11k gold down the drain. And you gotta farm this somehow as support. But I like it. So it's gonna be Stormblast, right?
Yeah. I think so, yeah, I think so. I have seen them practice this strat before. Now, so far, Bacon Lettuce Not Tomato has no answer for what Panini Boys is trying to do. Like, the thing is, you can run away from the Eclipse using the Centaur ult. Like, you would need to use it very, very fast. At the instant the Eclipse is cast, you would need to like immediately start running away, or you're just gonna get mowed down by the Eclipse. Like, Eclipse does insane amount of damage. In a dark willow.
I just checked also more Stormblast Luna games. So first of all, they have been dominating in pub games with that strategy. Usually picking Mars or Centaur, Mars or Underlord with Luna. And he goes Midas into Arganims and US.
Oh, I like that. Midas into
That's
Arganims.
so greedy, but if you can pull it off, it's so goddamn strong. It's absolutely insane.
Yes, I agree.
Like, guys, it's a support that can literally solo win fights.
Yes.
And if you somehow get to level 25 with this, you're actually one of the most annoying heroes in the entire game. You're more annoying than Techies, more annoying than Tinker, more annoying than late game Scarif Mage.
Yes.
Because you can stunlock somebody and deal, I don't know, probably 8,000 damage or something.
Actually, the total amount of damage without the magic reduction is 5,370.
Well, that's enough to solo kill anyone. And level 25, you stunlock them.
Yes.
But wait, have you added the other talents?
No.
Add more damage.
Okay,
Way more damage.
let me check the map.
Yeah. Okay, Anti-Metro is very good against that. He's mobile, he can get out of the Luna ultimate, he can perhaps jump the Luna. And of course he has lots and lots of magic resistance. Also, if you look at Panini Boys, they have a lot of single target spells, which can be counterspelled. And he's fine against Underlord, because Underlord depends a lot on mana.
Okay, let me break down the math here, right? So 300 damage pre-talent, right? And you have max beams is 18, right? That's 5,400, right? Now with spell amp and the because the beam interval is like 0.3 seconds with the ultimate, right? So 5,400 with the spell amp, like because most Luna kind of go for that spell amp usage. You landed exactly at, like I said, 5,700, 5,400. Okay, the 70 part I missed, so it's like 5,700 something. It's not 5,470, it's 5,700 something with the spell amp, right? So that's a lot of damage.
7,200.
With the refresher, that's 10,000 damage.
Well, plus level 20 talent is actually 14,400. And you can literally stunlock, I think, up to, well, if you have refresher, you can stunlock 2 heroes. And they can't even use BKB in that time.
So now if we take into account with that an 18 beams per unit maximum, and we add the plus 100 per hit, that's 7,200 damage per thing. And then with the spell amp 0.4, that's 7,500 times 2, 15,000 damage.
Yeah, 15,000 damage and you're stunlocking 2 heroes.
That's insane.
Like, over 5.4 seconds, like...
Oof! This... Oof, that is...
Pain MXR, Bloodseeker... Yeah, that looks fine.
I kind of like
It's again a fighting carry.
Yes.
So we probably see like Midas Luna, Midas Invoker.
Alright. So which draft do you prefer more? Right?
Well, I think Bacon's drafted better than last time, but I'm still rooting for Panini just because of Invoker. Bronx got this.
And I still think that Bacon still lacked that catch. Like, sure, they have Willow and Nyx. I just don't see this is happening.
Well, I mean, the thing is, they're really good at, like with the Quap and Anti-Mage also, they're really good at assassinating enemies.
Yes.
So if Panini manages to identify that, and they just, like, stick together, then they're gonna be fine.
Yeah. Alright, with both coaching panel favoring Panini, we're gonna bring it back to the casters with Jay and Vendota taking us into Game 2. Take it away, boys.
Thank you for the word and thank you for analysis of both Game 1 and what we are to expect to see in a Game 2. Now, next time, Rain, I don't want to hear anything from you about me taking too long when talking, okay? Wink, wink. With that, though, back to the serious note. When seeing the drafts, both of them changed quite fundamentally, even though the identity behind the boys from Panini staying, where they have like a high pressure carry, just the invoker on the mid lane, strong offlane that can do a lot of work, maybe a bit less proactive than Mars, but still good enough. And on the other side, we have this like semi pick-off lineup, semi I wanna get a pick and then fight you lineup coming from the side of BLnT. Who do you think will win this game 2? Will we see the game 3 is the question.
I hope to see Game 3 because we all want to watch more and more Dota. But I really do favor Panini Boys' draft. Like, beside all the things that the coaching panel mentioned, Luna is really good, and for the night vision he can get against heroes like Centaur. Centaur, you really not want to be seen, like, especially in the night. Centaur, you want to close the gap, and night is your time to shine. But against Luna, they really have the vision all the time to deal with you. So that's one problem. And the other, Bloodseeker against Animage Quap and Invoker against Animage Quap. Every time you step a bit far ahead, you're just dead because of the cold snap, because of the rupture, because of the silence, because of the mana burn. Like, there's so many ways to kill the cores, and that's a problem.
Yeah, I also wonder. When I was looking at the draft, right, and we were looking for the last pick for the side of Bacon, Lettuce, No Tomato guys, I was hoping they'll pick like somewhat, proactive mid that can have a lot of jump and in and out of fights and all that. But Quap, it hasn't been a hero for a while, and there are good reasons for it. And I'm a bit afraid, especially with also the last pick, Bloodseeker, coming in, which basically counters potentially both your post 1 and post 2. I'm not sure how to feel about it, Quap pick. Maybe I'll be surprised, but I think there are still better heroes. Your Void Spirit, even the Ember Spirit, would have done a way better job, in my opinion.
Yeah, I do agree with you because like Quap, push against Invoker with the cross region, it's not the best pick. It's Invoker favored to some sort. And but I mean, it's not like every mid player should play every mid hero. So maybe it was the only comfort pick he had left in there, and he just wanted to pick it.
Who knows? Yeah, I think maybe if they went with the MXR's Wind Ranger, like I get you wouldn't get the like big AOE strong burst ultimate, but the MXR's Wind Ranger looked great, and potential of double shackles here in these fights could have been just could have been the lifesaver there. So who knows? But they went with the co-op, so let's see how it goes. For me, there are two X factors this game that can make it or break it for the side of Bacon, Lettuce, No Tomato, no matter how bad the game is, and that is the Archer on Nyx, because one good spiked carapace, one good impale on 2 or 3 people, cancelling multiple ultimates and setting up kills. And also this anti-mage and his third spell, the counterspell, right? Like if you can counterspell some of the invokers, maybe the cold snap. Oh, we have a pause. Just to finish the top, if you can counterspell the rapture or the bouncing cast, which is not that hard, the cold snap or anything of that sort, right? It can really just change the whole dynamic of the fight.
I mean, if he gets level 15, he doesn't take any damage from the rupture because of the blink caster she gets. So
Yes.
even if he blinks, like anytime you blink in an area in a range greater than 1300, you don't take damage from rupture.
And
And Quap is
if I'm
just
not mistaken, Coop is
exactly
the same,
1300.
right? If she gets the max
Yeah,
range blink off, she'll actually not take the damage. So that's something to take into
no, she
consideration.
will take the damage
Oh
actually
yeah, she will take it. Oh,
because
never
she's
mind.
exactly 1300. Like if she
I
had
wonder
one
if
more
we will
range,
see like maybe other lens, or if they get something, like the early lens, if they'll just keep it on Coop so that, what is it, the 60 range, 60, 70 cast range on that item, so that she can
I
like
thought
save the
about this,
blink.
but I don't really play co-op, so I'm really sure if Aedenlands works on the co-op link. I'm not sure because I know it doesn't work on Stark spawns, but like I don't know about co-op honestly.
I don't know. I
I
don't
don't
know.
know if it
It
works
would
or
be
not.
interesting to see. Let's see if the item even drops, right? Or if she decides to build for it. I'm not a huge co player myself for obvious reasons, but yeah. Though one thing then on the other side, what I'm afraid of is like you have this anti-mage, right? Beast. He wants to farm a lot. He's probably not want to be in a fight, and I don't think you will win 4v5 as your bacon lettuce not tomato without the anti-mage, and anti-mage just needs a load of time, like way too much time. So by the time your anti-mage comes online, maybe it's a bit too late to even try to fight.
Yeah, I mean Invoker is one of the only, if not the only intelligence hero, is one of the only intelligence hero that actually can scale to animage late game and can like just deal
Oh,
with
on top we
animage
have a
during.
little bit of action. Will there be a first blood? Oh, nicely hit cask. Doesn't bounce, but we have the hit from Maledict and Bloodseeker running in down. And at the end of the day, it's gonna be the Witch Doctor, the right click flying in there, and that's the first blood for the side of Panini, boys. The history repeats itself.
So back to the topic. As I was saying, Invoker is like one of the, I mean, it's the best intelligence hero against animation, in my opinion, because the early game you get the alacrity, that physical damage burst, and the chaos meteor, all that disables, and even late game, Cold doesn't have a cast delay, so it's instant plus. You get like defending blast, you get tornado, you have so much variation to control animage and so much to kill him before he gets BKB, and animage doesn't want to BKB.
Oh, on top, Xero getting chased, but he's just gonna walk away. I have one hero in mind that is intelligence, and I think it's better than Invoker against anti-mage. It's not even a core most of the
Fuck.
time, and that is a Shadow Demon.
Uh,
People
I mean,
underestimate the fact that the illusion, like if your anti-mage cannot blink out, the illusions that you create of him potentially drain his mana. And as funny as it may sound, anti-mage actually hates having his mana drained because he cannot do anything afterwards.
like yeah, it's really good, but I was talking about scaling to the late game, not like early game.
Well,
Shadow Demon
Shadow
is good
Demon
early game.
scales to late game with his ultimate as well, though. Oh, on top, actually, talking about Zirok maybe in a little bit of trouble. Oh, nice double Maledict cask stunning. Zirok is gonna live, but same cannot be said about the Archer, as the Nyx will go down once more in the lane. And this is the strength of the Bloodseeker, because he'll get solved. He will just heal himself later on. And how do you deal with it? The lane is slowly spiraling out of control. Centaur really doesn't have the burst to help Nyx Assassin in that lane.
Yeah. And it's just Bloodseeker against Centaur. So once he gets 6, even if Centaur is 6 to anti. Who cares? You're just dead. Once Bloodseeker is 6, like this lane is kind of a dead lane. Every time Bloodseeker is here, you should either be 3 people here, like 3 versus 2, or you're just dead.
Yeah.
Like that's how it's gonna work with the Maledict.
Yeah. And not only
They really need to shut down this Bloodseeker right now or later. It's gonna take so much
Yeah.
just for them to shut him down.
I would really like to see Arta rotate up there. I think she can do a lot of good there, and I don't think she's really helping there that much to the anti-mage because of the Underlord. You know, he'll just use his Firestorm, and Luna will stay far back and just use her beam to, be generally as annoying as possible. Oh, will we see a death of a courier? Yes, Archer gets the death of a courier, and now Lucky is gonna get double edge, but now the Bloodseeker has the ultimate, commits it on the Xop. Nice stun from the Archer, giving maybe a bit time to Xop to TP out. There was no bouncing cast as it was used. Now Sunstrike gonna miss the mark a little bit, and that should be a good for Archer. I think he should be able to walk away from this. Invoker doesn't seem to rotating, so there's going to be no kills. And actually, talking about kills on the bottom there, Luna being very low, Quop rotated. There was some ultimate being used, but both of on the offlane are going to walk away. Shlorin actually smartly denies the Luna. Not sure if she would live, and no kills for a big rotation.
Oh man, the tips. Luna, Quab actually missed the ulti. They're like,
oh really?
On
Oh,
the Lord.
I didn't see that. Oh, that's sad. That would definitely have guaranteed kills, seeing how low he.
Yeah, it
he
was a
himself
guaranteed kill.
before.
I mean, it's unfortunate. Like, it happens. It's his
Yeah.
own ultimate. But the rotation overall was really good because she could have really gotten like.
Yeah, this time around, definitely good rotation. And probably the better lane to rotate than on top because they need to shut down this Bloodseeker, right? But at the same time, if you can get that like extra kill or two on the anti-mage lane and help him to snowball and get to his farming items a little bit quicker and be stronger on the lane, that's definitely something you want to do. Though, unfortunately, it didn't work and actually cost MXR a lot of mana and HP to rotate, so losing a bit of farm and not getting anything to show for it.
I mean, you really when the Invoker goes for the kill against Crop, you really expect Crop to kick Invoker out of the lane the first 3 levels because Invoker doesn't really have that much regen, and if he gets regen, he really doesn't have that much damage. So, but he didn't get kicked out, and he's just so far ahead, and they won top so far. Like, I mean, not the stumped, but really they are so far ahead, and lanes they didn't want to go bad, and it's going bad for them.
They're definitely getting much more in the lanes, and on top lane there's a little bit of go. Archer is gonna be cursed with the Maledict though. Zerok really low, he's pushing his luck a bit. Gonna get double edge though. Sadly it's just a level 2 double edge. The Xop deemed it worthy to put second point in a hoofstomp, and that may have been difference between life and death, but nice pressure being put on the top lane, actually taking back a bit of a control over the game.
I mean, yeah, but Bloodseeker got salved, and as we know, the hero is he's like on 400 HP. He's gonna go to full HP anyways.
Well, talking about full HP, he's gonna go low again, but this time around Admiral Waki is ready, and he's gonna throw the cast. There's gonna be the Maledict. The silence is not gonna reach, so Xop is gonna be able to walk away and preserve his life. And MXR is rotating. Maybe he's gonna like bottle Xop once or twice. He has the ultimate again on the Quop, so this may be a bit of a kill. There's no salve. The Witch Doctor is going back, no mana. So I think if they hit the stun, and they will, this is just a dead Bloodseeker. Yes, nice rotation, nice go. This time around, the kills are going to be happening. On the bottom, Beast being a bit aggressive into the Luna, and great win. Great rotation this time by an MXR. Definitely improvement from the first game when he was kind of locked in the mid lane. But talking about mid lane, there's a little bit of go. Bronx maybe thinking about poking MXR, but MXR is more than ready, more than healthy. And nothing of value will happen. And talking about anything of value happening on the bottom lane, Anti-Mage actually gets a bit of overzealous, maybe trying to use his ultimate to get a kill, but ends up paying for it with his life. So, interesting indeed.
The top gank actually was very good. MXR actually dodged the ward, and he didn't really go into that area, so they didn't really see him. But I mean, bottom, this lane really doesn't go good any better for Animage. Underlord has Arcane Boots and Soul Ring, so he doesn't ever run out of mana. Even if you burn his old mana, he's just gonna gain it back. So Animage really can't stay here. Look.
Oh, nice shield. He's getting low, but that shield to return the Lucent Beam from the Stormblast. That was actually a nice play, predicting that it's gonna happen. Good. I mean, oh, and Dimitris is getting bullied here now, but I think as an anti-mage, you don't really want to kill. You just want to, get your farm, maybe get the Perseverance and one of the swords, or the Claymore or Broadsword, to be able to go jungle and then give the lane over to either your support or maybe your Centaur. Ooh, anti-mage maybe in a little bit of trouble this time around, taking a lot of damage. Does he have a blink out? No, he doesn't, so he will die, but in turn he still gets the kill on the Underlord first, and Luna almost dies, forced to go back, and maybe a bit greedy. I'm not sure if I would trade myself there, but it's a kill for him. He deems it ready, gives him a bit of a gold, gives him some much needed XP, and it's gonna end up being 1-for-1 trade.
Yeah. Like as I talked about rotation, he really got the Underlord kit, but I'm not sure if it's worth it. He
Yeah.
could have really TP top. Bloodseeker was just dead, TP'd back. Bloodseeker had no TP. They could have just 3 people, Tornix, Animage. They went gone on Bloodseeker, kill him again, and it's a free tower because Bloodseeker is dead without TP. But he didn't go for that. He's just insisting on staying bottom, which I really don't like against Underlord.
Yeah. No, where else could he go? Like, he doesn't really want to jungle it just yet, so I guess you have to suffer. One thing, like,
Yeah,
we're
I guess
praising it.
top. Like
Yeah, but do you really want to lane against Bloodseeker as an anti-mage,
no, not laning. Like you go top
Oh,
and
jungle,
you
yeah.
make a rotation on
Oh,
him.
MXR
You
on the
kill
mid,
him.
actually maybe getting killed. Yes, he's gonna get caught by the cold snap into the tornado and meteor. He's gonna die, and on the bottom lane, anti-mage is gonna die yet again. The solar eclipse has been used. We're not used to Lina taking it this early on, but this is not core Luna, not Lina. Excuse moi. For Luna is not known for taking the Eclipse that early on, but this is not core. This is a support. So kills happening on all the lanes, and you're +1 and 2 dying. And again, that's not good. That's not good at all for you.
Yeah. One thing we didn't mention, and because it's not tomato, they don't really have much to deep push waves and defend towers.
Yeah.
So whenever they go on your tower, I get it. So such times like when you're bad at defending towers, then go your own tower. They can literally go 4 people top and just pressure, get some map control. Bloodseeker can one before them. He's really strong, but not as
They
strong.
they tried to go for the Bloodseeker on top, but the ward spotted him. I was a bit surprised that Xop didn't commit the ultimate just to get on top of the Bloodseeker and get his team there for the pickoff, but still didn't happen. Now, I think going back to what was happening on the bottom like 3-4 minutes ago, right? The like anti-mage trading heavily with the Underlord and even dying once and trading himself. MXR didn't have the ultimate yet, but I think maybe he should have rotated, because even with just 4 points in Scream of Pain and Shadow Strike, you just jump on the backline, you Shadow Strike the Luna, you get the Scream of Pain of both of them, and the Underlord is dead, and you chase the Luna down as well. Like your anti-mage is your win condition. Oh, on top, Underlord maybe in a little bit of a trouble. He didn't expect Arta being there. Nice Curse Crown, gonna miss on the Bramble Maze, but Archer is there as well. Doesn't have the break, but the ultimate's still gonna do a lot of damage. Will they find him? Yes, they will. Oh, he misses the stun on the Archer, and then now Underlord, nice bit of Malice on 2, actually on 3, and is gonna be able to walk away. Bit of a BM happening there with the well plays from the Bloodseeker, and he's now going to be chasing the Beast, and I'm not sure Beast is going to be able to walk alive from this. Ooh, Sunstrike silent, Sunstrike sniping, now Bronx, Presence of the Mind, gets the kill on the top lane. Ultimate committed on the Underlord, and he's gonna die this time around finally, but Bronx is back. He has the Orchid. Oh, misses the Tornado. That's a bit of a shame. Definitely would have been a kill, but now he's greedy and chasing, and everybody's visible to him because of the Bloodseeker passive. This combination of Bloodseeker just revealing everybody who is low on the map, combined with any hero that can have global presence, your AA, your Natures, your Spectra, your Zeus, is really potent and coming to play.
Yeah.
Ooh. Archer actually in a little bit of a trouble. Forgets about the Orchid, gets Orchid into the meatball immediately, and he just dies. Doesn't get a stun off, he doesn't have any way to save, and now Xop is being chased. Sunstrike hits, double kill for Bronx, and wow, this is just spiraling out of control again, much as we've seen in the first game. Bronx just taking over this time around.
And this time, not for the Midas, but for the Orchid Rush, he knows against Animage, Nilo, Centaur, like all 5 of these heroes, that if he gets that Orchid, it's a free kill. And it's just any lose to now, if he has +1, anyone who shows up just dies to the Orchid.
Oh, Beast nicely countered the cask, and Witch Doctor may die. Yes, the Witch Doctor will succumb, but that was a lot of damage with the Maledict. What's the level on the Maledict? Ooh, just level 3, so it's not going to be enough to get a kill, but half HP, and now Stormblast comes in, tries to turn on the anti-mage. While all this is happening, MXR gets another kill on the Underlord. This Underlord is dying a lot, but at the same time, he's just making sure his cores are farming. Like this Bloodseeker on the bottom, uncontested.
The counter spell appears like bot lane when Bloodseeker said well played. He actually counter spelled the rupture. I mean, he died
Oh,
after like 30 seconds anyway. But like the counter spell plays, it's really putting it. He's really putting it to work. But I mean, it's really not enough.
yeah,
His
he
Invoker
needs
is kind of
somebody
out
there,
of
right?
control.
Like he needs
Yeah.
if he makes these plays, he needs someone to be there, like Archer ready or Invoker or something. Invoker actually is on strikes MXR for pretty much half his HP there and puts a lot of pressure, even though he's just cheekily farming ancients. Oh, Bloodseeker rotates
Yeah.
on top. He actually wants to get a kill. Gets the Rupture on Archer. Nice bit of malice coming from the Underlord. Archer should die here. On the backline, though, Luna is taking a little bit of a punishment. Comes the ultimate, but MXR says, I have ultimate as well, and that results in double kill on both Bloodseeker and Luna. Now, though, huge meatball coming in on both the... what's her name? Dark Willow and the Centaur. Centaur is going to be able to walk away. Actually, a fancy footwork, knowing that there may be the Sunstrike coming. So he's dodging into the trees, and Quob jumped away. So, all in all, you get position 4 and pos 1 for just your supports. That's a really good trade coming in from the BLnT. And while, again, all this is happening, Beast is farming, which is super important.
Yeah, I mean, I would have to disagree with you that species farming is kind of good
Oh,
because
Archer, is he gonna live through this? I don't think with the Orchid. Yeah, it's just so that you just cannot come this close without pre-pop Sky Carapace. Again, just Bronx just Orchids him, cold snaps on the Underlord, just throws a bit of malice into the Firestorm, and that's all she wrote. You're just gonna die to that, sadly.
it's such times when you're a hero like Annie PA that you need farm, but you haven't taken a single tower, and any lane you walk up to, either Invoker is gonna kill you or Bloodseeker is gonna kill you because both of those are mobile. Like if it's me, I'm really gonna play with my team to make my own space.
Ooh, and Witch Doctor, while we were talking about it, Witch Doctor actually died on top. A nice combination of just great plays from Arta using her full toolkit to get a kill. There will be a revenge kill happening on her as a result. Or actually, she died. No, she died second. But yeah, great plays. Keeping the game a bit too close, giving BLnT more space to breathe.
I was shocked why did like Beast not commit on Invoker. Invoker missed the Orchid on him and he had 0 mana, but Beast just ran away with like 400 HP. He could have actually ulted and killed him. I'm pretty sure Invoker would have died there. So, like that
Yeah,
was gonna be the battle.
maybe playing a bit. Maybe playing
Yeah.
a bit iffy, maybe knowing that he doesn't have a Battle Fury yet, and he's still like 800, 900 gold away, sadly. And knowing that if there's one hero behind, even if he kills Invoker, he will trade his life, and that's probably not worth it. But as this is going to be very late Battle Fury, and you already lost all your tier 1s. Like, will you have even where to farm?
Yeah, like he really needs to sometimes right now play with his team. Even if you get the Battle Fury, I'm not sure if it's enough. Like he should have played with his team a bit more because if he can't farm a single lane, it's not enough for you to hit 2 jungle camps. You should make your own space.
Yeah, and I think also a bit of a mistake. Like, I think whenever you have 1 or 2 ultimate, like such as the Nexus ultimate or MXR's ultimate, you should just try to like go for smoke and get a single pick. It doesn't matter even if it's on the Witch Doctor plus 5, or the Luna plus 4. Like, just get a pick, just keep your cooldowns off, use them, get back into the game, claw slowly back. This time around, you're getting like more kills, more farm. The difference is not that big. Talking about more kills, actually on the bottom, Vijoctor gets got kind of a surprise. Stop getting the blink and playing off, though. Now there's gonna be the Rupture committed. I don't know on who it actually was. I think maybe on the next assassin that already died. The question is, will MXR be able to get away? He manages to blink away, but he is still visible because of the Bloodseeker passive, and Bloodseeker is coming in like a Ferrari. But MXR, he will have his blink, so he will survive. And on top, maybe a little bit of action between the Invoker and Anti-Mage. Yeah, Anti-Mage almost dying, but being able to walk away, and now he's hiding, gonna be able to TP out. So all in all, again, just pretty decent trade. 1 for 2, not the greatest, but you're keeping yourself in the game. You're getting some important kills, and most importantly, you're making space for the Anti-Mage.
Yeah, I mean you got kicked out of top. Right? This is looking kind of rough for them because, as you talked about, they really need to make some smooth plays and kill someone, even if if they need anti-mage in it, then anti-mage should come because this Dota is a mental game too. Like when your support have two deaths, you're so confident. But when your support just like even dies one or two times, he's done. He's sometimes mentality done, and there are many more mistakes.
Yeah. Nice prediction from Anti-Mage, kind of feeling them like dancing around the top lane. So he's able to walk to mid, not get ganked, but the ruptures of the cooldown. Oh, nice! Reflects it again. Great plays by Beast. Beast going for Beast mode. And on the bottom, that's exactly what we were talking about. The small plays, the small pickoffs. Underlord should die. Great rotation from the rest of the team. Using their ultimates, using their cooldowns. Oh, Anti-Mage actually finds Storm Blast. Comes the ultimate for the mini-stun, but it's not enough to kill. But he should be able to get the kill now. Ooh, doesn't reflect. And the beam now is going to be forced to go away. Bloodseeker coming in there with the alacrity, but doesn't have the ultimate to make Anti-Mage even stay. Sunstrike going to come in, actually blinks out. Beast grabs the bounty rune, and that's gonna be all she wrote. A lot of excitement and no kill happening from all that.
Yeah, and Luna's working is very good. Yeah, she like Stormblast. He has a Midas. Like he actually bought the Midas because they knew they really like Luna is not the one to deal damage, and if you are not, or is she the one to really deal with Cop?
Yeah.
If you're not dealing with those two, it's like chill and farm because you're not really gonna do much, even if you get the X that soon because of the blinks. So I like this item in this like a specific
Yeah.
game. Don't buy Midas on your sports other games,
Oh,
honestly.
I really like this by Arta. They saw by the wards and they knew that most of the dire is on the bottom, so Arta solo smoked and went to ward the camp to give them more division. Sometimes when you're a support and your team doesn't have a play, like you can toss a smoke on yourself or maybe one core with you and just like, I want to go warding, guys. If we catch someone, that's good, but I just want to get some deep vision. Really nice play.
Yeah. It's really good because they really need that even that little bit of more information to make their like plays, their responses and ganks work.
Yeah. And actually, one thing I want to, go back kind of to retrospective and praise the players for. I want to praise Xop on the Centaur a lot because we saw him. Oh, don't let me stop you from going to the team fights. Team fights happening on the bottom. Tier 2 actually already gone, and Arta is gonna pay for effort of the defense with her life. Centaur also, they are just all TPing in a bit of malice, and the bit of malice is turning into a bit of doom. 2 kills just because they TP'd into that and just couldn't move out of the tree line. The Firestorm, the bit of malice, the meatball. Actually, resmoke coming from the side of Panini boys, maybe waiting for like a cheeky respawn, some portal back on the outpost, and they can get someone. But Beast is not interested. Just to go back to the point quickly. This time around, I really like Sop, both games pretty much. He went for the hood, and then even though he had it a bit late, he committed to the blink. He didn't do any BS like we saw the last time when he was like, oh, I'm too late on the blink, I'm gonna finish a pipe, and then I'm gonna have blade mail, and then my team has no initiation, No, he just straight up full committed. Oh, anti-mage. Caught in the pit of malice. Nice shell on the reflect, but now he's gonna get killed, and he doesn't have the manta yet. Very low on the farm, so the sense is gonna be good. There's gonna be a lot of damage, and he just dies to the pop from the Orchid and one last right click from Bronx, and that is a costly death.
Yeah, they can just walk up to Roche right now. I'm not sure if they will, but it's
Oh,
really
on the middle,
an
MXR
option.
is gonna get ruptured, and there's a silence late under him. Now, there's gonna be counter silence from the Orchid, but it looks like Bloodseeker doesn't care, but he should care, because he's gonna pay for this with his life. And now MXR is TPing out. Luckily, Invoker doesn't really have any Sunstrike. Is there Sunstrike in the base? No. So MXR is gonna survive, and maybe a bit overzealous on Xedoc. Big kill! Kinda deleting the advantage they got from catching out the Anti-Mage.
I mean, he was overconfident. He actually walked up to a tier 2 tower alone to kill a cup. I was like, what?
Yeah,
That was really overconfident.
nice response by both Xob and Archer, making sure. And talking about Archer, he is seeing both of the heroes. He is maybe setting up for a play. Rest of the team is rotating, though they are being spotted by the ward. Now the question is, will Brawny live? No. Nice stun coming in. Archer, great jump by MXR, gets the Orchid off. Invoker has a BKB, but he's still going to take the damage from all the pure that's going to come from the Sonic Wave. And again, both teams will just, split their ways. A lot of cooldowns being traded. Important thing, I think this was a 10-second BKB. Yes, this was. So that's pretty costly.
Yeah, like they didn't really get the kill. They didn't get anything for it. So yeah, the KB is gone. What is it's still really a long way away from getting to that they can actually confidently fight as Bacon Let the Snow Tomato.
That is true, but at the same time, you're still like buying time for this anti-mage, right? Beast may actually get caught out here. If he's not careful, they scan him, he's gonna take it, and I hope he just goes to his jungle, yeah. So he's gonna survive this, but the thing is, if you look at Beast, okay, he finally finishes Yasha. It's not Manta yet, but you know he's getting there. Ooh, Beast, will he be quick enough? Oh, he thanks to the sentry, nice. He immediately uses the counter spell to not die. He's actually manning up, and that may be a bit of a mistake. Didn't expect it. Gets ruptured and dies. That's a oh no, he actually survived. My bad. He manages to blink the max range blink, not taking damage from the rupture. Though bit of a dangerous and overzealous play. You know, bit risky manning up when he could have just walked away and maybe wait for his team to set up there and get a better fight. But props to him, he survived, so all's good.
Yeah, actually, like Archer, what is he gonna do?
Archer is gonna do Archer things. He sees the Luna. They maybe want to go on her, but they are not sure because they see the rest of the team on the mid lane, and there's gonna be some heavy pressure to go tier 2 push. But I think BLnT's Ultimate bows are positioned well. If they can catch like the Invoker or the Luna on the backline, they can probably do a lot. But they are deciding to let the tier 2 go. Invoker now sees Xop, immediately goes on him, Cold Snap into the Orchid, but it's not gonna be enough. Bob's BKB again. I think Xop, you should just use your ultimate. Yeah, uses his ultimate, dodges the Sunstrike, they dodge the Silence, dodge a bit of Malice, and while all of this was happening on the bottom, Anti-Mage just snags a free kill, and now on the mid lane, bit of a fight, but now the Luna comes in with the ultimate. The Aghanim's doing a hell of a work, and both supports are gonna fall. Plus the tier 2 on mid. Still a good trade for, or better trade for Panini, but this anti-mage, this X-Factor, he's getting super close to his Manta. Now, can they hold their high ground? Xop is just gonna get ulted into the Silence, and he's gonna get run down on the high ground. And MXR cut in a bit of Malice and manages to blink out, but low on HP, and this should be a tier 3, and potentially even Rugs going down. Even though the Luna is just a support, she has the Glaive on level 4, she has the Moon Blessing, it's a nighttime, so that's gonna be, once the tower falls, that's gonna be a lot of damage to all your structures that are just not being protected. Nobody has a buyback. MXR has an ultimate, but it's just not gonna be enough. Ooh, kind of a cheeky weird scream of pain, kind of like, notice me, Senpai, I'm back here, and Stormblast notices immediately, Lunar brings back. Ooh, nice cold snap into the Tornado, Orchid, Sunstrike, another beam, and Quob is just gonna die, and this is bad from MXR because he has no buyback. Rex already fell, so this is just an extra kill. Archer scouting around, maybe trying to see if he can get some straggler back, but it's not gonna happen. Beast actually cutting the creep waves, great job by an anti-mage, snagging a courier on top of it, and just getting more and more farm that he just really, really needs to try to win this game for his team.
Yeah, I mean they learn from their mistakes. Like you see, that's how you do mistakes. First time they go for the Animage, you saw like they wasted so much time and didn't get anything. But that's not how you deal with Animage. You don't run after the Animage. You want to deal with Animage, go after his buildings. He can't do anything. They learned from it. They went for the buildings. They got so much more because Animage doesn't do any point. He just he might do much more now, but
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's enough.
Yeah, and I wonder if maybe right now BLnT and Tomato are regretting a bit their choice of support, not having maybe like a Kotl or Jakiro that could safely de-push the creep waves, because one thing that, even though you can't really, like, you can deal with anti-mage by not catching him and just taking his structures, if, like, Beast is getting good farm, and now he's in that phase where he's comfortably able to creep cut. So if you push with a creeps, and you have one support on the enemy side that can just clear it, and anti-mage cuts another creep wave, you can't very well go high ground easily.
Yeah, I agree with that. But the thing is, the bad part about Animage this game, as we talked about, is this Invoker. You really the BKB. Manta
Oh,
isn't
MXR
enough.
is forced to
Isn't
BKB,
bad.
and Archer
No bad.
actually getting a nice stun on too. I wonder if MXR will come into ultimate to maybe try to delete one of the supports. Yes, immediate death on the Witch Doctor, but they're I'm sorry, I'm losing my marbles as well again. The Panini boys will immediately respawn on the kill of the support of their own. Arta dies on the back of all of that happening, though. Important thing, Rapture was committed, whereas the Xop still has his ultimate, so maybe there could be some shenanigans. I think this is a fight where Anti-Mage just has to join in if they even want to have a chance to win. Nice Orchid on a Bloodseeker, maybe scaring him a bit. Xop jumps in, but nice reaction. BKB immediately in. Beast on the backline, but doesn't jump in. MXR is walking away. He's silenced. He's taking a lot of damage, but a pipe saving him, plus the ultimate from the Xop, making them run away from the Bugatti, Ferrari, or whatever car brand you prefer of the Bloodseeker. But even though you survive, that's going to be another lane of Rex. You're two lanes down, and Anti-Mage is not farming. He's just standing in a backline, maybe trying to go for a pick or something, but he's just afraid to commit. And, again, this is what we talked about the first game. Maybe just go for it. Anti-Mage jumps on the backline, gets Orchid immediately, mantas it off, but he gets hit by the Deafening Blast, and he just dies on the backline. And Now he's forced to buy back, and that really cuts into your economy. MXR is on the backline, gonna get cold snap into stun. Nice root on 3. Immediate ultimate from anti-mage actually helps to kill the Bloodseeker off, but now he's in a root Pit of Malice. Doesn't have the mana to clear the Orchid. Archer comes back. He has the Vendetta, so that's a lot of damage coming in if he can get it on something. But there's a sentry ward placed for him. They see him. Anti-mage tries to jump on the Luna. Archer, meanwhile, goes on the Underlord. Nice Pit of Malice again. Catches 2. And Invoker going to work, trying to cold snap and kill the anti-mage. And anti-mage gets rooted, and he's just dying back. That's 94 seconds without the anti-mage. Holy macaroni, that's a really bad play by Beast. Just not valuing his life enough and trying to man mode. But you don't man mode without your team behind you, and he's gonna pay for the decision with his life. Twice.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool. You can't really deal with Invoker as I am.
Oh, talking about Invoker and you can't deal with him, like, you know, Arta and Xop are trying to deal with him.
No, you
They're
can't.
gonna force the BKB, but that's gonna be it. And Xop may pay for it with his life. Nice tornado into the ice wall, but Bronx decides he doesn't want to push his luck. Ooh, MXR jumps in, comes the ultimate immediately, not enough damage. Now he's gonna get silenced, pops the BKB. Xop jumps in, but misses the root. MXR really wants this Invoker. He's trying to go in, but Invoker will just Ghost Walk and walk away. Silence on the Luna, but Luna is very tanky with that build that Luna went for with the Aghanims and Threads and Midas, even having the Nether Shoal on top of it, not taking much of magical damage at all.
Yeah, it's just so tanky. And they're gonna go for the Roche now. Zedox, 700 speed. What was that? Yeah, they're gonna go for the Roche, surely.
Yeah.
And I mean, after they get Roche, they can go either top or even they can go for the throne. And before him gets BKB, what do they against Invoker? And it's spawning Bronx Invoker. He really mechanically plays a better Invoker than me myself, honestly. Like, his Invoker mechanics are really good.
Yeah, he definitely knows where to go, and I like how he's, like, in and out of the fight. He's not just the Invoker that, oh, I'm gonna toss off my combos that I'm used to throwing every single time, then I'm just want to walk away. No, he's dancing on the edge of the team fight, right? Waiting for that extra Orchid, waiting for that extra, maybe like a Deafening Blast, Ice Wall, maybe even just a casual EMP, just to create a bit more pressure, tossing in his Forge Spirits to just micro them on the supports. Just really good presence of him, Better than your casual pop Invoker, for sure.
Yeah, and now he got the level 20 talent, Alacrity talent. This Bloodseeker is gonna do just so much.
Yeah, that's
And
a
DD
speedy
Rune,
boost, speedy boost.
okay? I mean,
Yeah, this is a go time. DD Rune, he finishes
yeah.
BKB, or he had the BKB for a while. He has Aegis. He has the Invoker with the Alacrity talent, and Invoker actually poses on the bottom. He wants to get a Beast. The whole rest of the team is pinging Beast, but Beast may be, smelling something suspicious in the air. He decides to go back, but actually goes back to the lane. Now, Unbearable Lucky will reveal himself, and Beast immediately reacts with a very quick pop of the counter spell. Nice effort to try to scout the anti-mage with the Sunstrike, but gonna miss Sodal, the Tornado, and now Beast is in the full retreat mode, trying to get away from any potential danger. Though he's again I like this. He's staying. He knows that he has to play a bit, bit dangerous, bit risky. Cuts another creep wave, which is huge for his team, and is allowed to stay here. Maybe gonna, go farm Ancient or cut another creep wave, and just forcing Panini to respond.
Yeah, I mean, come on, guys, without this, you don't run at Animage, you run at his buildings, you make him run at you.
Oh,
because he
MXR on the
wants
mid.
to
Oh,
win.
he got hit by a Sunstrike, but luckily it's spread between him and like 2-3 creeps, so it doesn't do much. Otherwise, it could have maybe almost killed him, and then one right click coming from Bronx would have been enough. Archer now on a mission. Sneaky, sneaky Vendetta. He sees the Invoker. Maybe he's gonna try to go for something. No, decides to think better of it and backs off. Oh, thinking better of it. They actually... Beast was there. Oh, they placed a sentry, but a bit too late. Bronx was maybe smelling something, or maybe just wanted to use the Ghost Walk movement speed bonus to get quicker to his boys. Either or, he will survive. And now tier 3, the last lane of Rax on top is gonna come under siege.
Yeah, I like how they actually every time do the wrong thing, then they figure it's wrong, then do the right thing. Like, run out anti-mage. Yeah, it didn't work. Let's run out his buildings.
Yeah, and now, again, Archer in a little bit of trouble, again, getting Orchid. Anti-mage walks in the fight, immediately forced to pop Manta, but still get cut by a sound. Luna ultimate from the backline, now the support's doing the work, even the Death Ward from the Witch Doctor. Double kill for the Storm Blast, actually kills both position 1 and 3. MXR dies very short, blink, dies to the Rupture, immediately buys back. Archer is surviving with the tooth of her finger, just a little small margin. But at the end of the day, while this is happening, there was a buyback force from MXR. The last lane of Rex fell, so that's a mega creeps, and it doesn't look like Panini boys want to leave your base.
Yeah, and they are surely not gonna leave the base.
Oh, another
anytime
fight,
soon.
just another great bit of malice. Both Archer and MXR are gonna get cut out. Archer dies on the back of the team fight as well, and now Archer buybacks, but he's the only one who is gonna be alive to see the end of the game. I don't think the Centaur's 15 seconds is gonna be enough for him to respawn, and MXR calls the GG, and that's gonna be it. A bit better showing from the BLnT boys than the first game, but maybe doing themselves a bit in with that somewhat greedy draft, maybe lack of a, cash or bit more solid supports, and yeah, sadly, it is what it is. We will not see the game 3. With that, we will move it back to the Ryan and Keo to tell us more about the game.
Thank you very much, Jay. And what an exciting series in general. I think game 1 was definitely closer than game 2. Game 2 felt like a kind of like a stomp, I guess, at least in my opinion, because it felt like Panini just had the BLnT's number at every step of the game. If you look at the laning phase, just every single time, every aggression that comes in, there's a coconut coming in, there's a stun coming in, there's Schlower in with the Pit of Malice. Every single time, everything that they tried to do just fails. And coming into the mid game, it felt like BLnT was desperate. They're trying to get into the game as much as possible, but we saw the anti-mage had like 20 minutes battle fury, which is just not good for the entirety of the game plan that they had in mind. MXR, well, he did play a bit more active this time, but it just wasn't enough. He kept playing on the wrong side of the map. He kept trying to go on the Underlord for whatever reason, and he just didn't prioritize the target well. He didn't go for the backline. He didn't go for the Invoker. He didn't go for the Witch Doctor. And it just felt like after the first 2-3 rotations, BLnT just kind of crumbles. There was no talk, no coordination, no team fight. And late game, anti-mage gets caught off one by one every single time by the Invoker. Just makes the game exponentially harder. And as the casters mentioned, Invoker is indeed one of, if not the best, intelligence hero that scales harder than the anti-mage, actually, because anti-mage just brings so much utility, just does so much damage, especially in the late game. Even if you kind of quote-unquote fall behind, you still have that double Sunstrike, double Meteor, double Cataclysm combo. It's just insane amount of damage, just pure damage all around. And very well played by Panini. Insanely clean movement, rotation, everything was just perfect. And it felt like they just came into the game just ready to go, raring to and just have BLnT's number every single step, just read their mind. Very well done on both teams. All right, and with that, we're gonna do a bit of an unconventional thing where we are going to have members of the teams joining us in the casting.
Oh, we can all.
All right, welcome both teams from Panini and Bacon Lettuce Not Tomato. Congratulations, Panini, and commiserations for Bacon Lettuce Not Tomato. And very intense series. 2 games, very active and very bloody series, I would say. Keo, any thoughts that you want to give to the both teams?
Yeah, well, I called it at the beginning. You gotta ban that Invoker. Bronx didn't die in any of those 2 games, like holy shit. Right, I mean, it was an exciting game. Series, I mean. I think the main takeaway for the Bacons, especially MXR, I would say. Well, you guys had a clear strategy, right? With the Axe and Phoenix, for example, or later with the Nyx, Anti-Mage, Queen of Pain. In the first game, you kind of went for counter-initiating strategy. And in the second game, you went for lots of assassins, lots of pick-off. And these threats are fine, and I think you executed them decently. But there's one thing missing in both games. You haven't really kind of forced the Panini boys into a situation that favors you. So, for example, in the first game, I mentioned this in coaching panel earlier, but in the first game, for example, on a Death Prophet, you have to pressure towers early. Like whenever your exorcism is ready, you have to use it ASAP. Because if you pressure towers, the enemies is gonna reply, right? They're gonna try to defend the tower, they're gonna jump on you, and then you just have Phoenix Supernova and you have Axe Berserker's Call, and you're gonna have a decent fight. So that's kind of what you need to do before. And there was a similar issue in the second game, where you have this nice strategy, but it's kind of countered by Underlord. Because if I look at Anti-Mage, Nyx, and Quap, I just think about running around and looking for small fights, skirmishes, and ganks. Perhaps kills in the enemy jungle. Because you guys are really, really mobile, right? And you have lots of single target damage. But if you see an Underlord, especially Underlord first pick, Underlord usually indicates that a team does not want to split up. Because Underlord defends towers, Underlord buys a bunch of aura items. And it's just gonna be easy for the Paninis to play around the Underlord.
And I want to touch on the difference between team coordination from Panini and BLnT, not Tomato. It felt like Panini just had BLnT's number at every step of the game. Like they just read their game plan, where they want to go, what they want to do, just every step of the way. And I don't know, but it felt like BLnT and Tomato just didn't have any coordination this game. Like zero teamwork, zero coordination. Like nothing was going right. It just felt short. Everything was felt short. Like there was no call. Okay, I had an ultimate. There was no call. Okay, which timing? Where do you want to go? Like for example, concretely, at game 1, MXR had ultimates. Nothing happened. You had a plan in mind. Okay, we want to play with the DP. We want to play around the DP. Very clearly from your strats, you want to play around that strength with the exorcism, and yet 3 minutes, 4 minutes after you had your ultimate, nothing happened. Like there was just simply it seemed like there was simply like no coordination. Nobody was talking. Okay, who's doing what at what timing? While on the side of Panini, very well done. Like it felt like, okay, guys, I have Rupture in game 2, or okay, guys, I have well, what was it? I have the Blink on Mars. And like, okay, let's fight. Let's do this. Let's get on top of them. Smoke up. Like clearly Panini like smoke immediately after they had that Blink. Immediately after they had that ultimates. Like just felt like very well done on the side of Panini. It's like just completely reverse of what BLnT kind of had. No offense to both teams, but just all around, I just want to ask, like, well, I guess first of all, like, for who's joining us from MXR and Arta, like, what happened, like, in these two games?
I mean, we basically yeah, we had a game plan. We tried to do the game plan, but it just didn't work out. Like they were like you called, they were like one step in front of us every time. When we wanted to do something else was happening on the map, and then we reacted to that by reacting to it, we were already too late basically. So that's what happened, kind of both games.
And for Panini boys, like, did you guys know what they were going to do? Like, did you guys like study them really hard? Like, what did you do to prepare for the series?
Well, we kind of know them, like more or less. We had an idea. We did the exact same scouting we did with every other teams, like which heroes they play and stuff like that. But I think when we play, we always try to like try to find a coordination inside of our team, while on the same time trying to think of what they're trying to do and counter it somehow. So yeah, basically we had an idea of what their draft was going for in the both games, and we tried to like go hard fight basically to counter it.
Keo, do you have any questions for both teams?
Yes, but first of all, a bit of advice. Okay, so, well, actually, first of all, we have praised you guys a lot after game 1, so if you want to rewatch that, feel free to, because we were really impressed with how you guys were drafting. There was a lot of very high level stuff that I don't even see in my own scrims necessarily. It's like you guys actually drafted like immortals. Like, I'm not even kidding. And a lot of itemization and a lot of early rotations from game 1 and game 2 were very impressive. We mentioned some more details in the coaching panel after the first game, so if you want, please rewatch that. But I think, well, as I mentioned, the strategies of both teams were clear from the draft, but it felt like Panini boys had more experience with the strategies that they tried, and Bacon seemed kind of new to those strategies. Like, for example, Axe and Phoenix is really hard to play. I feel like your strategies are more complicated to do because there's like a checklist of stuff you have to do. So in the second game, for example, you have to actually force the enemy team to not group. You have to force them to split up. Like, there were a bunch of times when Archer found Evoker, for example, or Bloodseeker in jungle, and Archer was ready to go, but MXR and Archer weren't quite there, which is quite necessary. So one thing that you can do in this kind of assassin lineup against the group lineup, you have to split push a lot. Because that splits up the enemy team, and then you can jump them. So even though you guys played the drafts quite well, I was lacking... I mean, it was interesting. You guys tried to make it so advanced. You had taken care of and thought about step 2, step 3, step 4, but you didn't have step 1. So that's kind of what I was lacking in both games. Right, but for questions, I just want to ask straight up, Panini boys and Bacons, the strategies that you tried today, have you been playing them just now, or did you come up with them like yesterday, or did you play them for weeks?
I mean, I can answer it from our side, from the Bacon
Right.
side. For us, it's been game 2 basically has been the draft was like we always play that, or we played like in that rotation. Maybe we swap a hero for another, but basically we played that kind of lineup. Game 1 actually as well, we played that kind of lineup. The Axe was basically a hero that we normally would pick something else for that. Maybe the Mars or something, but that was banned, so that's why I picked the Axe. But
It's also not like we kind of swap strategies pretty often. We don't really have like one strategy we do most of the time. Like
Right.
one time we go indeed for the bit more assassination kind of thing, and sometimes you just pick something else.
yeah, more like tower push. Let's say with the game 1 it
Yeah.
was more like tower push. Game 2 it was more assassin. But that's basically what we normally do. But like with playing against Paninis, like we know each other quite well from like scrimming a lot. So
Right.
that was harder to do.
Okay, gotcha. I mean, it's really cool that you try stuff out. And I mean, it takes a long time to find an actual strategy that works in your team. So yeah, just keep experimenting, keep trying to find something for yourselves, and then try to decide on one. And play this a bunch of times in a row until you really get it. And then you can probably dominate your pubs, dominate scrims, and perhaps have a lot more fun.
Oh, that was no lack of fun.
That's great to hear. Great to hear.
Yeah, I think. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I think from our side, the first game was. I mean, we have played the Grimstroke with double disables and all that draft a few times in this league already, and that's something we're quite comfortable with, and just also with, of course, Invoker being a very comfort pick for Bronx and Mars for Schloren. So yeah, that was nice. And in the second game, we played also big team fights, and the minus Luna 4 was something we tried before, and it's very greedy, and yeah, we're glad that it worked out, and we want to try it, picking a carry that doesn't need that much farm.
Quick question though. Like, how much did you get paid, G-Dog? Sorry, Agent X, for that free Aegis? Like, was it 20 euro?
I never say how much I get because it would be too easy then, you know. Not something that I do.
Of course,
Of course, I didn't got paid. I didn't got
Gotta
paid.
keep it
you know.
secret. Gotta keep it secret.
I understand that you're a
I mean,
professional.
it must have been the unluckiest death ever. Like, you just toggled the amulet, and you got bashed, and then he slammed. You took like 600 damage in like half a second.
Yes, unlucky. Sure.
Unlucky, yeah.
Yes.
Not calculated.
Yes.
I mean,
I understand that you probably posted on Fiverr, right? Like and like 20 euro for like a service. You know, like I understand. Like you're a professional. I get it. You don't have to tell me, but maybe you can give me your PayPal as well. You know, wink.
I mean, let's look at it from the other side. Maybe Bacon Lettuce No Tomato paid Gabe, and like last time Creeps won the game for them, maybe this time Roshan.
Ooh, right.
Oh, very true.
AI controlled creeps and Roche.
This is very suspicious to me.
Well, we'll conduct a thorough investigation. Don't worry. Agent X, just remember that you can always refund the money, just so you know. Anyway, on a more serious note, quick question for both teams in regards to the draft. I think both games were the draft-wise was like pretty even. Kyo and I agree on that. Was there anything unexpected happened during the draft? Like you guys thought, oh, okay, that's not something that we were planning. Like, did you guys have to adjust something? Like, or was it like, oh, everything was part of my plan all along?
I have one remark about question actually. Why did you guys ban the brew? That was a big surprise to us.
We saw Xop spamming it, and we were not sure how good he is, and we just don't want to deal with that.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah, I didn't want to play against Brewmaster.
Well, you would need some extra practice on the hero, I think.
From our side, like the Luna pick, that was like kind of confusing for us. Like we were like, what the fuck are they doing with the Luna? We haven't seen them pick Luna anytime. Like we watched their like ranked games as well sometimes, so we've maybe seen it before, but never in the leagues. We're like, yeah, what are they doing? So we thought that
I think I picked it in the league. I think I picked it in the league.
Maybe, but like we were caught off guard by it. Like we thought, oh, maybe it's +1.
Yeah, you banned 1+4 and 1+1 then.
Yeah.
Was that something that you pre-planned to hide with the Luna strat, or was it like, haha, you thought it was +1, but it was +4 all along?
Yeah, we wanted to keep it as a flex basically.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, when we saw them banning the tree, then we were like, oh, they think it's +1, but then they banned the Ricky, and then we were kind of okay, maybe they don't know, and we kept it as +4 then. Yeah.
But so it was like a flex pick at the end, or was it like already predetermined to be a +4?
It was more for me, but it was also Xita can play it if like I get countered in lane or something.
Okay. And was there anything like throughout the game that you guys didn't expect, or anything that was like, oh, that's new, or was there something that you guys didn't like see coming in?
Cheeto getting killed by Roche.
Yeah, okay, but outside of Agent X's shenanigans, I mean.
We know basically it was what we expected from them to happen. Like we played them enough to know what they're doing, so.
Then on that note, question on BLnT side, did you guys like came up with a game plan, and did you feel like you followed through with that game plan, or what was going on through your communications there?
Game 2 we basically had to plan like, okay, we can outscale them later on. We just need to like keep like getting pickoffs and let the AM free farm basically, or getting the AM farm. Well, that didn't really happen. Game 1 it was like, yeah, we wanted to push early, we wanted to group, but then like we got onto the part where they like pushed us earlier than that we expected, or that we got caught off guard, so we didn't do much with the DP ult instead of like pushing with it.
Just a quick question on like you had DP ult like off cooldown for like a good 4 minutes before you even first used it. Like, was there anything that goes through your head? Like, why didn't you like, okay, I'm gonna use DP ult, try to pressure mid, try to get rotation?
I mean, I was calling like I got DP ult if we want to go somewhere, and then when we wanted to go, there was something like, oh, well, we need to wait a few seconds. Okay, but then they reacted. It's like it kept going from like we want to use it to like being in a circle of like, oh, but there's something else happening. Like,
Was there a particular reason why you kept like delaying and delaying, or was it just simply like, okay, guys, so like we need to do something? Was it like a team call, or is it simply, okay, they were just too fast, or what happened there?
They were just too fast. Like we wanted to do something, but then they reacted already before we could like do something. So.
And on the side of Panini, like, did you guys felt the pressure like for game 2, for example, like, okay, guys, they pick anti-mage, we can't really outscale that. Like, we need to go now. We need to do something. Like, or was it like, it doesn't matter. Like, it's an anti-mage. What's going on to your head?
We didn't really discuss it, but I think everyone knew we had this problem we had to deal with. We went too late, or we didn't put enough pressure. But I think we played the game fast enough, and so yeah, we never talk about it. But I think it was in the back of everyone's mind.
Yeah, I think when we killed AM in the lane, I think twice, and then we also, when he shot on map, we saw that he was not that close to Battlefield. I think he had maybe like 18, 19 minutes, if I remember correctly.
20 minutes, 31 seconds.
Oh, okay. And so we didn't feel that hard pressured to like do big tempo, but I think we got a good tempo, and yeah.
On that note, I would like to ask Kyo, like, what would you do in that kind of like pressure situation when you're already so far behind? I guess from the side of Nicholas, not Tomato.
Well, I think it depends a bunch on the draft. But for example, in the second game, you have a lot of damage, you have a lot of solo kill potential. So I would just really trust the split pushing and perhaps smoking, like very aggressively. Kind of like the smoke in game 1 when you try to defend the bottom barracks. That was actually really nice. The only reason why you kinda lost the fight, you defended, but you kinda lost the fight simply because of that Kaya, Sancho, and Invoker.
All right. With that, if there's any other questions, anything anyone wants to say to the players, maybe from the casters.
I want to ask if did you forget to ban Invoker the game 1, or you wanted me to go with it?
We wanted you to pick it.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I was thinking Viper by that point, and then you didn't ban Invoker, and so I started to think, oh, whatever, let's pick Invoker.
That was according to plan. At least that part was.
Right. Anything else anyone wants to say? All right, and with that, I would like to congratulate Panini for taking the series 2-0 and say thank you to everyone for playing in the league. And this is your last series of this season. And thank you very much for everything. And apologies on behalf of the team if anything bad happened or we made some mistakes. And we hope you enjoyed and improve your. We hope that you improved overall and gain something from the league. And on behalf of the organizer, thank you very much.
Thank you guys for organizing it.
Yeah, thank you for everyone who's here and who's not here for organizing this.
Yeah.
Yes, really, thank you.
I think everybody enjoyed it very much.
It was great.
And it created lots of great learning opportunities. And lots of fun. That's the most important part.
Thanks, everyone.
Right, and that's about wraps it up. And that's it for this season, for this series, at least for this season. And we will be back in about 1.5 hours for the next series between Team Devansh and Team FGM, with both teams not having a single win throughout the league. It'll be very interesting to watch how they improve and what did they bring at the very final series of the league.
Oh, that's gonna be a draw.
This is gonna be a very interesting series as well.
Imagine one team wins the first game, the other wins the second, and then they both have like connection problems.
It's actually funny because FGM have problems with Kambo and Devansh have problem with Keishang, so it's gonna be very interesting to see which team TCs the most. And on a more serious note, I would like to say thank you to Vendota. This is the final cast for him for the season. Thank you very much, Vendota, for actually skipping your family's event to join the
all good, always.
And,
priorities.
Yes, priorities, and hope you enjoy your new year with whatever time remains for the new year, I guess. And with that,
I mean, it's a year to go already.
Okay. And we're off, and see you guys in 1.5 hours.